I'm making everything but the kitchen sink pizza.
Oh, wow. You?
I need to know what's in his kitchen.
Well, this is a lot what's in the kitchen, but a lot of stuff, you know, we can't use, but there are bits and pieces. So I literally have cleaned out oil-cured olives, which I don't use a lot. I don't even know why they're in the fridge, but I'm gonna use them. I have cherry tomatoes, which I always have way too many. I have rotisserie chicken, Katie. This is, I believe
I always have rotisserie
you sent me this
chicken.
one. And I've just shredded it up. I have some prosciutto left over, and then I have cheeses. So in this bowl is provolone, cheddar, and Swiss, a little sharp cheddar, and I have another block. I'm gonna finish some of this up here. And it really doesn't matter. You're just trying to use up the stuff because the wonder of pizza is oil, heat, cheese, bread, nirvana. That's the equation for nirvana.
That is my nirvana, for sure.
This is marinara. If it's bolognese, fine. If it's spicy arrabbiata, fine.
Ooh, vodka sauce?
If it's vodka sauce, fine. This is all. And then I have a store-bought pizza dough. You can buy this frozen, which I buy all the time, or you can go to your local pizzeria. They will sell you the ball. That's the best way to do it because it's always in the correct state of expansion and yeast. You have to be careful. Our oven is 500 degrees, as hot as possible. I used to put my oven on clean. It's even a little bit higher, but 500 is fine. And I have a stone, a round stone, a pizza stone. You really should get one because I use it for everything else in addition to pizza. It's really fantastic. We're gonna cook this right on top. All right, here we go.
Are you top racking it or bottom? I know there's different theories about where to place the pizza
I put it just in the middle.
There you go.
You know, and it's gonna cook probably 7 minutes. Okay.
Wait a minute, Jeff. I want to know where you put the pizza stone in the oven. You said up, bottom, controversial.
Well, it just depends on what kind of pizza I'm making. If it's like a quick, you know, super couple-minute high heat, I like to keep it up top so you get the bubbles and you get that kind of cornichon around the crust that gets nice and bubbly and black, and then the bottom kind of is timed correctly, so the bottom's perfectly cooked as well.
It is. Okay, so I'm putting on my tomato sauce. Now, normally I don't put that much on, but we're trying to use up our ingredients, right?
Oh, man.
Okay. I leave a little edge, and then at this point, it's like not a science. I'm gonna throw some tomatoes cut on top.
I always buy too many.
I'm a sucker for them.
Sun ripened.
My kid, my youngest son, George, loves to just open that up and sit and he'll eat a box of those watching
Seriously.
TV.
So cute.
This is just shredded chicken. It's leftover. Rotisserie chickens, it's very inexpensive. And they usually, after one day, they get a little dry. So you're gonna need to just bury them in there. I'm gonna bury them in a little tiers of melted cheese. Okay, so here we go. So in this bowl is provolone, cheddar, and Swiss. I just grated it all together, but like I said, anything that's left over.
Like, would you ever do capers or
You could put capers,
peppadews or
absolutely.
anything like that?
But anything tends to be like green, I tend to throw on at the very end when it comes out. Like we're gonna put on some basil and one more ingredient when we come out. And I'm just picking it like this. I'm trying to give it a bite satisfaction so that the person that gets the slice gets everything. So a lot of things, I don't know about you, but I salt and pepper my pizza.
Yeah, why not?
Because I salt and pepper everything, it's just a...
And I love your strategy of a lot of low moisture. Even though you grab random stuff from the fridge, you're not putting like real juicy stuff that's gonna seep into the dough and get soggy.
I actually use the dried mozzarella when I make pizza.
Me too.
Little olive oil, not too much.
Did you put Parmesan on there too?
I did sprinkle of Parmesan just because it's left over. We're gonna go into the peel here.
I don't know about you guys, but I love knowing that GZ makes a kitchen sink pizza.
I do.
It's kind of like mind-blowing for me.
See that?
Smooth, buddy. Oh,
here we go.
You got one ready to go?
Yeah, ready to go.
Double pizza?
Look at this, everyone.
Wow.
Oh, start singing. Start singing.
On top of the pizza. I don't know.
Jeffrey, that crust looks so
Yeah, it's good, right? All right, so.
And you give this man a casual sweatshirt and look what happens.
Right?
Next thing you know, he's just emptying out his fridge. Wow.
A little
He
more.
looks like Dad right now.
Yeah.
Dad's in the kitchen making a pizza.
Dad vibes.
Uh-huh.
Touch of olive oil, and then a little arugula. Who doesn't have these? Like millions of these too. Like they're little, and they're like that much in each one.
Yes.
And you're so thoughtful when you bought it. So thoughtful. I mean, use it all up, and you don't. I'm just gonna put this on, and the heat coming up is gonna grab it and make it just
wilt ever so
slightly.
Ever so gently.
When you're cooking with leftovers, salad is the new herb.
Yeah, and you can put, this is arugula, you can put literally salad, watercress, that mixture, you can if you want. I chop it up. I chop old salad up a lot and use it as a garnish. Nobody knows it, it's delicious.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Sneak in some greens.
All my secrets,
This guy keeps going and going.
And there you have your beautiful kitchen sink pizza.
Beautiful.
Okay, shall we?
Yes.
We shall.
I love the sound.
What's better than pizza?
I don't know.
Honestly, is there anything better than pizza? I bet that olive and prosciutto, what a nice little salty bite you got right
Trying to
there.
get everything in the
Fork gather.
And
Fork gather.
I'm so jealous right now.
The salt and the pepper and the cheese on top really makes a difference. It's so delicious. Split chicken with a dill salsa verde.
Yum.
This is such a great way to do this. So what I like to do is take your chicken, the oven's up 450, really important. It's gotta be cranking. Important that I get this hot. This is probably gonna take 30 to 40 minutes because we're looking for an internal temperature of about 160. It's gonna rest up after it comes out of the oven. So very simple, salt
Yep.
and pepper. That's
What
it.
about you, Jeff? What do you do on your roast chicken?
I don't know, maybe a little rub of some sort. I don't know. I like to experiment. I like to get that skin super flavorful.
So I'm just using tongs, and in the beginnings, you just don't have to. But you gotta salt this, right? We're just gonna put this in the oven. We'll take about 30 to 40 minutes at 450. Make sure that oven is preheated. All right, and while this is cooking, we're gonna make a salsa verde.
Ooh, salsa verde.
Okay, so what I like to do with this is use either a mortar and pestle or a molcajete. Into this, I'm gonna put some, you can put whole garlic, but I'm doing it chopped. It helps it just quickens it. Anchovy, a couple of anchovies.
Nice.
Oh.
Oof.
And some capers.
Okay.
A little bit of lemon zest, not a lot. When you're making a salsa verde, you want the greens to remain green. So if you add an acid, it's not gonna happen. It's gonna go brown around the edges. So I try to have no acid in this whatsoever. But that is like adding acid without adding acid, okay? And then I like to put a little large grain salt, not because it needs salt, but it helps as an abrasive
Yeah.
to drum this up. An old pepper.
It's a ton of flavor to start with. That's a good base. Is
Tosciones.
that regular flaky sea salt?
That's flaky sea salt. But this was a smoked one, but I like to use giant, large flakes or chunks of salt just because it gets more of a grind, right? Sandpaper. Here we go.
Hey.
I'm gonna take a thing. You can use a muddler, which this is, or you can use a traditional mortar and pestle.
Now, GZ, can I use my food processor
Yes, you
or
can.
blender?
Absolutely.
Okay.
What are we looking for, Jeffrey?
You're looking
Because
for,
I feel like
I'm gonna
we
show
need
you, you're
that.
looking for a paste. So you're not looking to puree it. That's why I don't put it in the processor. It's hard to get to this level, but that's it. I mean, it really didn't take that much time.
Mine's gonna be totally puree.
And then, so it's a dill salsa verde. So dill is gonna be 40% of it, right? So let's get the dill first, or most of it. And you can chop the dill stems too, but I'm just gonna pull it off like this. And then a little bit of arugula on the board. So I'm just gonna show you my
A
little
little
jardin.
pepperiness.
And then let's get some parsley.
And this is the flat leaf, so.
Flat leaf only, not curly. It's too
No?
strong here. This is really
yeah,
good.
curly has a home, and it's usually next to a slice of orange in an
Yeah,
omelet.
exactly.
All right.
A good amount of tarragon, but I would use a ton more of this if I didn't have the dill.
Huh?
Now we get some basil.
Wait.
Okay, so let's just look at what we've done here. So we have mostly dill, then arugula, parsley, tarragon, and basil. Now, if you don't have tarragon, it's fine. But don't put rosemary or anything that's not soft. These are all soft herbs. And we're just gonna chop.
I'm putting this in the food processor already. GZ's like, wrong.
I mean, you can gently zip it up in a food processor.
You're gonna
right?
get a different, it's gonna pulverize the cellulose of the leaf and get the water's gonna come out. So it's gonna have a different texture. Okay, so we have everything here. So I want it to be chunky like that. And you're gonna see when I put this on the chicken, you're gonna be able to identify the herbs. So that's why I like to keep it like this. This goes in here. And this is very herbaceous. Do not be afraid to put all this in here. So remember, we're not putting any acid in here. There's no vinegar. Maybe a touch in the capers, but you don't want a lot of acid in this dish. This is particularly robust, that anchovy, caper,
I mean,
salty.
the caper scratched that itch enough,
Yeah.
right?
And then we're gonna take some really good extra virgin olive oil.
Burning my eyes, there's so much herb aroma.
It's
You feel it?
springtime in
Yeah.
here.
It
Springtime.
Oh.
smells so good.
I'm gonna take this now, and I'm gonna make sure I add the right amount. What is the right amount?
I tried.
It's not there yet, but it will be
Three-quarters?
shortly. And then when you put this in a jar, a mason jar, you can cover it with a little oil, and it'll stay in there. I keep mine for almost 2 weeks, as long as it's covered with oil. Okay, let's go get the chicken.
It's also a great way to use up herbs in your
Amen.
fridge. Make a salsa verde.
So here's the roast. I'm gonna get both of these on the table.
Ooh, look at that crispy skin.
1,
Oh.
2. This is the only time you probably don't have to use that. Otherwise, it's sacrilege to throw that away. Okay, so we got a nice chicken here. It does have the backbone here. So I'm just gonna pull this apart. It's got a cut here, very easy. It almost tears itself. Okay. Get it off that. Okay, we're off that
Beautiful.
there. And if you want, you can cut it in half. You don't have to, but maybe it'd look more fun if we do that.
I always like when chicken has the bone, but is cut up into manageable pieces.
Yeah, especially if you're serving more than,
I think it
one
presents
person.
better. I really do. It's one of those things you always cook more because the next day you just gnaw off the leg or make a chicken salad, right?
Juicy.
It looks too juicy. Can you send it back?
Way too
Too juicy.
And then we take our salsa verde with dill.
You're just chef fussing right now. I love
Yeah.
it.
So bright.
And you can see all the herbs. That's why I like
So bright.
To your point,
gorgeous.
Katie. Maybe now you put a squeeze of lemon on it and some sea salt on top, and there you have it.
There you go.
Okay?
There you
Half
go.
a chicken salsa verde from springtime with a dill salsa verde. All right, let's try it.
What?
I'm a
What's he
thigh
gonna
guy,
choose?
so I'm gonna go
What's he
right in
gonna
here
go?
and get a thigh. Getting a little bit of that. See that?
So cute.
Get a close-up of that.
I like the chunky bits in there. I stand corrected.
Uh-oh.
Sign the painting. It's done.
Sign the painting.
Sign the
Delicious.
painting?
The dill and caper is like so fantastic, and everything else is batting cleanup. And just the chicken itself, it's so simple. You don't need only salt and pepper because this adds too much of it. It's really delicious. My halibut en papillote.
On Papillote.
Okay, so I'm all about, this is a very old technique. It's just cooking in paper, and this is parchment paper. And guess what? There's very little cleanup. It's a great way to do fish. I recommend doing white fish like this, sea bass or halibut. This is halibut. I couldn't find sea bass. I was looking for it, but I have halibut. I have very thin leeks, very thin fennel, and very thin lemon. Very simple, okay? First of all, I'm gonna season the paper with salt and pepper because you wanna have the underneath seasoned, right? Right?
Want to hit up that undercarriage with the good stuff.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna put a little bit of fennel,
So much flavor.
a little bit
So
of
what's the
leeks.
idea? You want to cut everything as thin as it takes
so
the
it cooks
fish
fast.
to cook.
Yes. And then my secret to this is a little something I'm gonna make right now. It's called a tapenade.
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 Ooh.
So we have olives, capers, garlic, anchovies. Boom. No salt. A lot of salt right here. Okay. Be
You
careful.
mean
with salt.
all the built-in salt, you don't bother to season this?
No, not with the olives, capers, and anchovy. Those are 3 salt bombs right there. I do put pepper and a good amount of oil. I make this all the time. This is a big bucket in my fridge at all points. It makes everything better. I smother lamb chops in it, which is fantastic.
I put
Grill
a
them.
tiny shot of whiskey in mine and I let
Whoa,
it sit in
really?
the fridge.
Well, we certainly have whiskey in our house, so I'm going to do that next time, Alice. I'm going to steal that idea. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to buzz it up. See how quick that was? That was 14 seconds. So this is the secret weapon in cooking fish. This is a white fish, so it needs some help in the flavor in the flavor department. So we're just going to put a drizzle of this on top, not on top of the fish. We want to damage the fish, right?
Oh my God, look at you.
Look at this dollop down.
See, I would have put that right on the fish, but that's so much smarter.
Remember the salt on the bottom, the salt on the top, and that. So we're really doing a lot of salting here without salting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well,
A little
just
salt
salted,
on
though.
top, a little pepper. And now we get to it. What do? You just have fun. So we're just gonna go like this. We're just gonna start turning the edges.
this is regular parchment off the roll.
This is the generic stuff. That's
Yeah.
what this is. So we're gonna go like this. Other
I mean,
side.
could you use foil with this? I would.
Yeah,
I
but
think it
I
would steam
wouldn't.
It, too much,
It
right?
adds some metallic taste to it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't use the foil. The foil's okay, but you can't present the foil. You know, because
No.
a piece of foil gets in your filling. You know, it's not good.
Ooh, it zings you.
So before this is closed, a touch of Vino Blanco.
Oh, see, I thought you forgot it, but you
Nope.
didn't. You did it.
Nope. And there you have. This goes in an oven, 400 degrees. It's gonna cook relatively quickly.
Yeah.
Hence the thin fish, the thin vegetables, everything, for about 8 to 10 minutes. Gonna take it out. Oh, look at
I
so
love
it
it
gets
when
a
you-
little ugly,
Ooh,
right?
yeah, it
That's
gets a
what you
little
want.
burnt.
That's ugly beautiful.
I don't think
Okay.
that's ugly at all.
So we're just gonna put it here.
I just realized you could make this whole thing in the morning and come home and throw it in the
Absolutely.
oven.
Oh,
Here's-
good.
Imagine.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it right on a plate, and that's how you're gonna serve it.
So hot. It's like alive.
And so I have a little Calabrian chili. This should be the 8th wonder of the world, this.
So good.
At the table, you usually take it like this, and then you can either have them open it up like this, or the fun way is to just cut it like this, and watch what's gonna happen. Watch what's gonna come out at the top.
There's a prize in there? Do you sneak a prize in there, like a temporary tattoo?
It's like a box of cereal.
Look at that. It's just the
Spider
steam.
ring?
The steam comes up.
Beautiful.
Oh, look
We're gonna hit it with a little of this chili oil, just on
Keep
top
it all
here.
contained in that papillote, too.
And then a little
There it is.
tear of basil. Yeah, and there you have it. Halibut on papillote. I'm gonna make a pork Milanese with shortbread Girl Scout cookies. Okay, doesn't that sound
Wow.
good?
I see where you're going with
Yeah,
this.
you see that. So right away, we're going to the breading station. We're gonna make our bread. So Alex is gonna mix up the shortbread, Parmesan cheese. You can use Romano if you want, but I think Parmesan is perfect. And panko, which is very dry Japanese breadcrumbs. To me, the best there is. A little salt and pepper, a little oregano, fresh. Oh, yeah. And that's gonna be our breading. Very important that you season the breading because this is a bunch of, when you have a Milanese, which you're pounding it flat, that's what I mean. You need to season everything. A lot of people don't season it. It has no flavor at the end of the day.
I hate that.
And you taste bread, right?
Yeah.
So while she's doing that, I'm gonna take this. So I've taken this, I pounded it out on both sides, and I had the butcher clean the bone, all right?
Beautiful.
Salt and pepper.
How does that look to you?
That looks perfect.
Good, okay.
Here, would you put it here for me?
I love it. This is my go-to order at any Italian joint in my
Yeah.
neighborhood. The Milanese, the bone-in Milanese.
If it's good,
If it's what
fantastic.
it is.
And you know
And
what?
you could do this with chicken, too,
Yes, you
right?
can. Chicken, veal,
Veal,
anything. And what's great about this is maybe a little secret is it really, when you take it home to go, if there's not too much, it's perfect the next day as well.
Cold, out of
Oh,
On a
yeah.
sandwich.
Oh, hey, stop it. You can't say that without paying me. You know that.
Sorry.
Do you think you could do like a mild, not too fishy fish like this too?
Absolutely.
You think you'd get away with it?
Absolutely.
Like a fish Milanese.
Like
Absolutely.
a flounder or
Okay,
whatever?
now process and technique, very important. What I have over here, you can do it in olive oil or butter, but I have something very near and dear to me is clarified butter. What that means is I put butter in a pot, bring it to a little bit of a boil, skim the top, the impurities sink to the bottom, and if I let it go anymore, it become brown butter. But I love the fact that you take the impurities off so it's more stable. It doesn't have those burn bits.
All those milk solids,
Yeah.
so you don't.
Okay.
It's got a higher smoke.
So
point
that's
now.
here. I just took it off. It was getting a little too warm. I want it very warm and quivering. I don't want it like smoking. Quivering.
Okay,
Wow.
Quivering
Okay.
ghee.
So here we go. So we're gonna take this in a seasoned mixture of salt, pepper, and flour. Okay?
So you season the meat.
Yes.
You season the flour. Season the
And
breadcrumbs.
this is an egg wash. It's seasoned also.
Wow.
Into the egg wash, and then into the pork, into the breading.
And that's got the shortbread cookies in the breadcrumbs.
Yes.
Salty sweet.
Salty sweet.
Goes
right?
great with pork, man. Nothing wrong with that.
So I want to make sure, and what I've done is I've kept one hand completely free so I can cook with it. Okay? Again, into the seasoned flour. And I pounded these about a 1/4 inch thin. It just gives it enough time to reach a point where it's crispy, it has enough time in the pan, and it's not so dry. If it's way too thin, it's just a mess. Into the seasoned egg.
So the flour kind of gets the egg to say, hey, sign up for this.
Exactly.
And then the egg says to the cookies and the breadcrumbs and the cheese, let's do
Sure.
this.
We're in it together.
So in the meantime, Alex is making a really incredible vinaigrette with salt, pepper, onion, garlic, mustard, balsamic, and olive oil.
So
now we're gonna
good.
now the magic happens. We're gonna take a little bit of sage and some thyme and put it in here, and you hear that sparkle? That's gonna really flavor this clarified butter.
That's what you call giving your dish 1,000 points of light. All the flavor.
I love that.
1,000 points of
So
light.
what this is doing is really making this butter into a sage and thyme bath. Now we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it away from you so it doesn't splash you.
Don't want to splatter that nice jacket.
No, don't.
Well,
That's
already-
most important. Forget your hands, it's about the clothes.
It's got a lot of flour on it already.
It does from before. And if you see that it's boiling just nicely, it's just simmering, just turn it up because when you put something into the pan, it brings the heat down. So we're gonna let that just hang out there. Look how nice that is.
And also, they're kind of thick, so
They
that
are.
does change the temperature of the butter.
So this is gonna cook 2 to 3 minutes each side. And it's gonna get really, you wanna get that, the color to me indicates when it's done. It'll be very brown on the bottom, very brown on the top, and then it's done. It's kind of a perfect measurement, all right?
I got a factoid for you guys.
Go, factoid.
Do you know during peak cookie season, 1.3 million pounds of flour is used per week to make Girl Scout cookies?
Oh.
1.3 million
God.
pounds per week.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, so let's see. That's going to take a look at our pork. Remember, this does not go in the oven. You do it right on the flat top, which I love. Would you mind dressing the salad medium liberally?
Medium, liberally.
Yeah, not
Oui,
too
chef.
much. You want it too wet.
So just some arugula.
See, if
I
you
love
take a look at that.
Oh, yeah, boy.
That's about the right. That's about.
That's
You
right.
can go a little more than that, but I don't like to.
No. Also, you have the sugar in the cookie that burns.
Okay.
And I don't mind no medium pork chop either.
Well, the pork chop should be 145 degrees, which is about medium. The federal standards got lowered from like 160. It was like hammered dry. Down to about 140, 145, which is good. Big difference.
So, GZ, if you're making a big batch of these, you keep some in the oven?
I keep them, yes, just like you're making pancakes, you have a sheet pan with a cookie rack, you put them on and keep them in a 200-degree oven. Then you can all have warm food, which is really important. Okay, while that is hanging, are we ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's gonna go right there. Let's go get our pork. I have some in the oven. Oh, baby.
Oh, I've been waiting for this all day, bro.
Oh,
See?
beautiful!
That's Italian. Look at that.
Wow.
Okay, darling. I'm gonna need your help.
Greens.
Greens right here. Let's put it in this bowl.
All right.
And you want to put a little salad on for me? Oh, I'll put the
Yes.
salad. You can put the
All right.
salad. Right here.
Look at that tongue.
Wow, that is
Look at that.
gorgeous.
Look at that.
So you really want a nice amount of arugula because it really cuts.
That pepperiness, right?
And always put the meat at the person's navel, so it's 6 o'clock. That's
So
a little
it's
rule.
for easy eating?
Thanksgiving rule.
Bone
you wanna
away
have
from you?
You want to have the meat right in front of you. Just like this, madame.
Oh,
Beautiful. Look at how pretty this is.
gorgeous.
It feels bistro-y, but a little bit Italian with Americana thrown in. I love that.
Okay.
I mean, this could be like lunch or dinner. Dare I say, even breakfast. And you don't even know there's cookies in there, but you taste there's that sweet crunch. So nicely paired with the pork and the peppery arugula.
That's like a perfect entree, if you ask me. It's like it's like a glass of wine, and you're like happy, right?
I would never know that there were cookies in this, but it does have that little subtle sweetness, that little something, something, and you're not sure why it's so good. It's just so good. And I love having that really vinegary salad to go with it. There's such a nice crunch to this.
My spicy eggs in purgatory. We're gonna get on the fire a little sausage. I like
Breakfast?
spicy sausage.
breakfast sausage.
Breakfast? No, this is real spicy Italian sausage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's fun, right? Into that, you can see I've rendered it. It's getting crispy. I like crispy, and all that's come out is that gorgeous, spicy, oily,
Best.
the best. Into that, we're gonna put fennel, onions. We're gonna let it soften.
So
It's
the
like-
fennel, you use a whole, you kind of peel down the outer layers of the fennel and use the whole bulb?
Here it is. Every single thing you buy in the store that's fresh, if it's heavy, it's good because it's full of water, it's fresh. Okay, so I put this at this point now on high heat because once you put all this stuff in the pan gets cold, you want to bring it back. Spices, smoked paprika
Okay.
and pepperoncini, garlic, or like I say in Worcester, garlic, and anchovies.
Ooh.
Anchovies. Now, anchovy at breakfast, I know, no, please, no. You'll see how good it is. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna get this all ready to go. Okay, to this fine melange, and I know it's breakfast, but I believe this could be a breakfast moved into brunch, right? A little white wine, just a touch. This helps getting that quality fat off the bottom and all that fond off the bottom.
A little Pinot Grigio, I see.
Beautiful. Just makes a nice little sweet touch for everything. And once we add the tomatoes, it's gonna be so good. All right. As you can see, this is very quick. It doesn't take that long because you're gonna add the tomatoes at this time. Just gonna let that simmer. Maybe 20 minutes. Like I said, you could do this ahead of time, or you could use sauce that you have from the night before as pasta.
Hey.
Right? That goes over there.
I mean, I might bake that whole thing in the pan, stick it in the fridge, pull it out, heat it
Got
up,
it.
add the eggs. No?
I love that.
Okay, so this is cooked for about 10 or 15 minutes. We're gonna add parsley and the capers. Really important, this step. I mean, I love capers. Okay, we're gonna warm this up. Don't blast these in the oven. These take a little bit more time than you think, just because you don't want them, you gotta have the egg cooked runny.
Yeah.
A little secret when you're making eggs in purgatory or you're making poached eggs, crack them ahead of time so you don't have to worry about getting shell in it or if it breaks. And what I like to do is, when I crack an egg, I always use the board. I don't go like this on the edge, because if you dent the edge of this, what happens is the shell can go into the egg.
Yeah.
It's bacteria. So, open, out, done.
You can also check, this is a great way to check to make sure your eggs are good. You don't want to crack the egg right on
Nope.
there.
Right here. So I got 4. I'm gonna lower this a little bit. I'm just gonna actually touch the mold to the bottom to imprint the tomato into the bottom of the mold so it helps the egg stay right where it's supposed to be, thus creating more work to clean dishes. Okay.
Yeah, but you could reuse the same bowl over and over
So
again.
see how pretty that is? Touch of salt and pepper.
I mean, this is the ultimate brunch dish, you know? I mean, this is really bridging
look at that.
gap between many.
And let's do a drive-by. Want to do a drive-by for me?
Yeah, I want a nose bath.
I'll drive by.
I was a little nervous.
Oh my God. So it's bubbling.
It's bubbling.
You've got momentum.
You've got to do it. And basically 300 degrees, maybe 20 minutes, check it. And what I like to do is that if it's almost done, I turn the oven off and let it just hang out. It'll cook. There's a lot of heat there, especially because it's cast iron.
I love all the steam from the tomatoes.
Now we're gonna add another 400 ingredients and we'll be almost done. Okay, then to this, we're gonna add a little bit of pepperoncini on top, some green habanero.
Green habanero.
Green habanero. I like the
That's-
green because look at that translucent, gorgeous, luminous green on top of the egg.
They have taupe habanero.
It looks beautiful, right? Some fresh parsley, or in this case, you could substitute this for tarragon, which is great with eggs.
Wait, say that again. You're adding parsley and tarragon?
Or if you could have tarragon or parsley, a softer. Chervil, parsley, tarragon, chives, whatever you like. But you bring this to the table, and this is how I serve everything in my house. Basically, it's in the pot it was cooked in.
Smart. Well, there's no time.
And this will stay warm, just like this. That's why I take it out early, so nothing overcooks. Now we're just gonna go in there. Oh,
Let's see, get it clean. Yes, he did it. The transfer. It's not easy.
transfer is not an easy thing.
So what do you want to do? Scoop under the egg
Yeah,
and
so
kind
you
of
wanna get-
lift it up out?
You want to get it to look like that, and if you want, you can come by with a little.
There we
you
go. We
didn't.
knew he had another
No,
one.
you didn't.
Oh,
Come on,
there
you
it
got
is.
it.
Come
Look at
on,
this.
Geoffrey.
Come on. Okay. Now, I like little toast points. These are roasted sourdough bread with a little garlic rub on them.
That's it. Are you sure
This
that's
is
it?
very savory. Like, it
think?
really goes very
So you want
savory.
to see that little egg? See the egg? You
Beautiful.
see the egg? The egg is
Well
cooked.
done.
Did you eat this growing up?
No.
Okay, good. Good.
With fennel,
Macarena.
the caper, and the habanero is just such a beautiful, glossy coat that this egg is wearing. And the tomatoes are just spicy enough. And then when you want to really go in, just grab a crutton.
Ooh, break it up. You don't even need a fork.
I'm making my Iron Chef grilled cheese with brioche, the bread. Very
That's already
important.
stepping it up. That's already
Yeah, I don't
stepping
like
up.
it cut too thin.
Okay.
I think if you're gonna have a grilled cheese, you need a little bread to get between the cheese and everything. Then, a few different ingredients. I'm gonna introduce to the children and the fans at home, fig jam.
Oh, yeah.
Really good for you, really delicious, and this is the first thing that goes down. Just a bit here.
I love a jam and a grilled cheese.
So do I.
Yeah, I mean, it works. It's like a cheese board,
It
but
is.
melted.
And crust to crust.
Is a
It's
must.
a must.
Sliced almonds.
Okay.
Okay.
Texture, team
Texture.
Very nice.
Protein.
Protes.
Do you all have any idea what the trinity of the top 3 most popular grilled cheese add-ins would be?
Oh my
The
God.
Trinity.
The
Banana.
Trinity add-ins, well, bacon. Hello, let's just not be disrespectful. That's got to be one.
What's your guess?
Banana.
What's your guess?
Banana?
On grilled cheese?
I'll tell you.
Oh, grilled cheese.
I got it. Bacon,
Tomato. Tomato.
Oh yeah, got to be a tomato. I've had that at a diner before.
Bacon, tomato, and
mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. No.
Bacon, tomato, and ham.
Oh,
Oh, okay, yeah, duh. Why did
Okay, next
No,
step.
because then it's a grilled ham and cheese with bacon.
In honor of Jeff
Don't
Morrow.
get me started.
In honor of Jeff Morrow, very nice bacon.
Nice,
Very
crispy.
nice.
Good amount of bacon. Not too crispy. Not too
Oh,
crispy. You want a touch of a chew on this. I don't like it. I want it to snap.
Iron Chef.
And then 2 kinds of cheese.
Jeez.
Gruyere
Ooh, wow.
and Monterey Jack, which is sort
Look
of
at
similar.
that.
Good
With the
melting
dichotomy of
cheese.
life.
In
represented.
between,
Look at you. 3 slices.
3 slices. You gotta put a lot. It's gotta be cheesy.
Yep.
It's gotta be
He's
cheesy.
going 4 slices.
Yeah. Why not? Let's put like half here.
Oh my
And then drop
gosh.
this. We're gonna put it together. All right?
Oh.
Press it down.
Oh my
God.
goodness.
Sure, I thought that was 2 sandwiches you were building. You're only
Soft,
building one?
soft butter.
Yep,
Soft butter on the outside. A lot of people put mayonnaise, which I like as well, but I think butter is good. It's a 101. We have a lot going on here. Salt on the griddle,
Look at
of
this.
course.
Like, okay, what he's doing there is he's got some butter. There he's going crust to crust is
Crust
a
to
must.
crust.
This is very sound
Salt.
tactics. This, wow.
All right, so, and then
Salt
I
in
like
AC
to
now.
dome. Anyone out there dome? I'm a domer.
You know me?
I dome.
Okay,
I was
so
6 months old doming.
You got a dome.
we domed a couple before, and here we go.
Oh! That's crazy looking.
They 2 sandwiches. Oh, holy smokes.
Wow.
You know, the dome is smart too, because you got to really get that internal temperature going for the melt.
Exactly.
Good melt.
The secret is the cheese has to melt a lot. It
Yeah.
can't just be kind of hanging on, just like a cheeseburger, right?
Well, that's
It's
a
gotta really
problem,
go.
because a good way to treat, not only dome it, but hit it with a little, maybe like a teaspoon of water in there to create some
Steam
steam.
up.
It's not gonna compromise the exterior of the bread, but it's just gonna help create nice little heat board.
And so you can see how beautiful
Sandwich
it is.
king.
Done.
It's my mushroom soup without cream. I'm going to show you.
That's a delectable title of that
It
recipe.
is what it is. Are you ready? We're going to use cremini mushrooms. Everybody's seen these, right? These are good. They're relatively inexpensive. You can use white mushrooms, button mushrooms, cremini mushrooms, anything meaty. I wouldn't use shiitakes for these. They're kind of woody, but anything fat and meaty like this. They're not
Baby bellas?
expensive. What?
Baby bellas?
You can, but something like this that is sort of heavy and big and fat like that. And we're just going to slice them up.
You know, there's a lineage of mushrooms, right? So you got the baby bellas.
Yes.
They grow up to become teenagers as creminis.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
those creminis become portobellas. They're all the
Yep.
same. It just gets bigger
Oh, I
and
never
older.
knew that. I knew baby bellas are interchangeable with they're the
And then
same as
I thought
cremini,
they were
right?
the same.
Yeah.
And you can use Paris mushrooms, which are the white ones, which
Wow.
are the cheapest of all of them. You
Oh.
have the name Paris in them.
The white button.
Yeah,
right?
the white buttons. Okay, so we're gonna get some olive oil. We're gonna put everything in here. The mushroom, sliced onion, white onion, very finely sliced.
Are you guys particular about how you clean your mushrooms?
Yeah,
I never clean them.
I'll tell you how I clean them.
They're covered in dirt.
I don't know.
No,
Dirt's good for you. From the dirt, we shall return.
What we do, I'll tell you what we do in the restaurant. We take them and we take a damp towel,
Yeah.
one by one, and we wipe them. If you submerge them in water,
Soak it up.
guess what?
Yeah.
You have a sponge, and it's really not good. And most of them are really clean, so that's a tip for you. Okay, so what I'd like to do is just put these over a very medium-high heat, and you gotta leave these alone. Medium-high to start, and then medium. Pepper, no salt. Why is that, Jeff?
Because it leaches out the moisture and it prohibits caramelization.
Or the Maillard effect. So if you put salt, it's going to actually, in some cases, if you're making a bolognese, you want the salt, but in this case, you don't. So you want the liquid to stay inside the mushroom, and it won't brown as good. So you see this nice brownage here? See that? There's no salt in there yet, okay?
That's the key.
That takes time. Then we're going to add some salt
Okay. I've seen that.
and some pepper. Okay, so to this, at this stage, next, you know, you can use sherry, you can use vermouth. I'm using vermouth. And the secret to making it creamy is one of two things. A little bit of fresh breadcrumb,
Oh.
fresh thyme. And we're gonna let that cook. And then we're gonna add, oh, God, I can tell you, when sherry hits or vermouth hits that, the smell is
Mushrooms
incredible.
and that, such a match made in heaven.
And then we're gonna add chicken stock, beef stock. I like more vegetable stock. I like chicken stock unsalted, all right?
Vegetable
Low
stock if
sodium.
you wanted to make it vegetarian.
You can.
And you can buy mushroom stock now, too.
Yes, you can. We'll let that simmer for another 20 minutes, and then we have this. This is basically your base. So it looks like mushroom stock, basically.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't
don't
look
see
anything
anything creamy yet.
Relax,
Wait.
it's gonna happen.
Well, do it, dude. You're sitting here.
else.
Blender.
The magic of a blender.
Geez, Z, with no drippage?
No drippage.
Iron chef.
I did see one little bit drip. I'm not going
Okay.
to call him out, but I did see it. I see
One
it
of the things
still.
I love to use when I'm making something fresh and roasted, I need to have sort of a balance, and I love acid, so a little bit of sherry wine vinegar
At the end.
Right.
into this, and then we're gonna blend it. Be very careful at this point because it's hot. If you put this on high, it's gonna go everywhere, so just real low to start, all right? And then we're gonna just turn it up.
You had like one
looks
piece of
like
bread
a
in there?
quarter of a
Not a lot, you
cup,
don't need a lot.
You gonna drizzle?
I'm gonna drizzle. Guess what I'm gonna drizzle inside there?
EVOO.
Extra virgin olive
What's up,
oil.
Rachel?
One of the things that makes it really creamy. Now we're gonna taste it.
Be careful, it's still running.
It is still running, it's okay.
Look at this guy, living on the edge. Love it.
You know, that's pretty good.
Oh, go GZ.
Right.
So we need our, it's almost thick. You see, it's almost creamy right now. Just got a little olive oil, not too much.
Roll. Okay.
How much oil did you just put in there, Geoffrey?
You know,
Okay.
a healthy amount.
So I just want to show you the
It's the good fat.
consistency. Tell me this looks like, it doesn't
Look
look
at
like it
that.
has cream in it.
Wow, it looks like a chowder.
So,
Iron chef.
okay. You ready to taste? So what I have here is I've made a little bit of a tahini herb dressing, which I'm going to show you later how to make.
Represent, GZ.
It's my people.
Yeah, you always represent. I like that.
Okay. So we're going to put a little of this dressing on top.
Okay, GZ,
I get mine in a bread bowl, please.
Just a tahini drizzle, and then some of my favorite things are shallots that are fried.
Ooh, fried shells.
You can buy those now.
Yeah, they're addictive.
Really?
Yeah.
And some fresh dill. There you go. Creamless mushroom soup.
Bring it, GZ.
Here, let
You
me give
better keep making bowls of that. Jeff and I want to try it.
Now, normally at home, I would go and find a bubble tea straw.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I could see
And I
that.
would make this happen. I love a soup like this. You put in an insulated cup and take it to work with you.
Oh, look at that plating, Jeffers.
First of all, this is the most well-balanced soup I've had in a very long time. And by balanced, I mean the sherry that you added at the end. You know, this is a mushroom, so it's from the earth. You need to bring something to it that's gonna bring it up a little bit out of the dirt. But what really works this is that tahini, that sesame seed sauce that you made. It's like the umami of your people, you know what I'm saying? And then the dill comes through with that bright note at the end as well with the sherry. This is just...
This is awesome.
This is beef bourguignon. It's a hearty, rich stew, and then our country would be called beef stew.
Yes.
The difference being,
Red wine.
yes, there's no red wine in beef stew, which is such a shame.
Well,
It's a little bit of technique, but it's not hard. What I have here is chuck, big chunks of chuck, and I've seared off some already. And then I have some red wine vinegar, some beef stock, some soy sauce, some miso, garlic, salt, bay leaves. I've made this so many times. I always play with it. I love to just like adjust. And I think you'll like this one. All right, we're gonna get this beautiful Rondeau cast iron. In this is the oil from this. What is this, Jeff? The
pancetta.
pancetta. Now you can use streaky bacon. You can use even guanciale. But guanciale, it's a bit too much flavor. And I cut it a little smaller than normal, right?
Toe. He's dipping
And
his
I am
toe.
actually not gonna cook it in there. This is a garnish. So, we got that crisp. We left the oil in there, right? Really hot, okay? You want it really hot, and then we're gonna salt this really with authority, as my friend Mark Murphy says.
What up, Mark?
Season with authority.
Murphy Beach.
Murphy Beach.
Going down.
I don't put pepper in this because I feel, for me, I don't like pepper on a sear because I feel it gets bitter. So just salt, okay?
You can always pepper later, right?
Yes.
It's better
so,
flavor.
Great job. Sonny's
I'm working
making
for you.
carrots, some shallots. That's it. It's easy. This is really a peasant dish when you think of it. We're putting this in a very, very, very hot.
Peasant cooking is
Damn.
the best cooking. That's
What?
real peasant cooking. Just using the bits and working them.
Well, I think, you know, we think beef bourguignon, but it's just bourguignon just means from Burgundy, right?
From Burgundy.
And they have only Pinot Noir. They only make wine from one red grape in Burgundy, and that's Pinot Noir. So
And-
you would take a Pinot and cook it with the beef, and that would be the beef bourguignon, the expression of the area.
And we have that right here. It's a Pinot Noir. So this is the only thing that's going to happen on top of the stove. We're going to put this in the oven, right? So set your oven at about 300 degrees. I like to say it's going to cook forever. For me, anything over 2.5 hours is forever.
Yeah.
So
Seems like forever.
It's a long time, but this has to come out. It's nice golden brown. I have my pieces here. And now we're going to take some of the vegetables that, you want to dump that right in there for me?
Yeah, big old
Look at
chunky
that.
dump.
Just dunk it in right in there.
Chunky dump.
Put it right in, and in goes this, which is a what?
And bouquet garni.
Bouquet garni. I like bay leaves.
Ooh, triple threat.
Yeah, I like bay leaves. We're gonna let this just take some heat. We're gonna give some heat to this. It's gonna cook a long time, so we're not looking to get color on this. It's not the point of that whatsoever. After that has been in there for a bit, we're gonna take some garlic, tomato paste.
The tomato paste is important. It really builds the depth of flavor,
A
doesn't
little
it?
bit of sugar,
Oh.
Oh.
and then let's get that in. You gotta get that tomato paste kissed with heat. I like the one in the like toothpaste tube. I use it all the
Yeah.
time. I just love seeing it in my refrigerator and open it on my drawer. Let's add the miso now, and then
Hey.
right after.
Alice,
Get it?
what do you think?
I know.
Miso is a very GZ move.
Sacré bleu.
That's
Yeah, yeah. You gonna throw it out?
All right. So then we're gonna layer this back on top, and we're gonna fit it in tightly. You want this tight. It's really important, okay? If it doesn't fit, we don't use it. I can get one more piece in here, and I'm gonna save this.
For like
For
another
the
meal.
dog.
Yeah, now comes le vino,
Le vino. Oh,
Pour it on.
a good amount.
oh shit.
Shut up the pot. That's
And
what I'm
then we're
talking
gonna
about.
put the
Oh, it
soy.
smells so good. So
All right.
is the soy sauce and the miso there to build the flavor and
Yes.
give you the umami?
Yes, it's because 2.5, 3 hours in there. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, then
Okay.
broth.
A little bit
Then we're gonna
shock.
cover this.
Oh, wow.
So this is gonna go in a 300-degree oven that's preheated in the middle of the oven for at least 2.5 hours. It needs time. And what it does to the smell in the house is remarkable, so you don't wanna rush
What
it.
are we looking for, though?
You're looking for like fall apart, but just the right amount of reduction so the sauce is made. That's the secret. Got to keep it in there. Now, let's just start our garnish, which is very simple. I have your favorite, frozen
Pearl onions. Yeah,
peeled.
don't do the work. Get them frozen. They're already
Butter.
chopped for you.
I'm gonna get the onions in here, no salt, and then I'm gonna sear these a bit. We'd have these beautiful mushrooms that we've cooked together with cooked pearl onions
Yeah.
from the freezer
From the
section.
freezer
Wow.
section.
It's a shortcut,
Look
and I
at
put
you,
it.
Jesus.
I know, and I've done them separately. A lot of bourguignons are cooked together. I don't like that. I feel it interferes with the cooking of the beef. There's too much going on in that pan to cook these properly. I don't want them pureed, so I want a little bite to them. So what do I have here? The reveal.
Okay. Voila.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Now we have to decant like a wine. So we're gonna just tighten the sauce up by reducing it, but why don't we reduce it with everything in it? We're taking it out.
So you don't want to overcook the beef.
Yeah, and I don't want to lose the quality. So here we
Wow.
have.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah, we're gonna
Show
take
off.
this out, right?
Being a show off.
You're such a show-off.
I am slow. Show off.
Showboating Sammy over here.
I'm gonna put this here.
And big pieces of beef.
Big pieces of beef here.
Dude.
They're not like little dainty.
No.
This is not a dainty dish.
So now we're gonna reduce this down. I have one done already. All right, look at this. And this is the reduced. It's all it is reduced. There's nothing else. There's no flour. You can add a beurre manier or cornstarch. I just don't like it.
Excuse me, translation of a beurre manier.
Butter and flour. You know. Why do that?
One
Well,
part, one part.
manier means like
With it in the hand.
handled, so
You
mixed
handle the butter.
together. and
Back
then-
in the
I
swimming
usually
pool.
mix it in my hands before I put it into the pot.
That's
Love it.
pretty much it. And what this is in the pot. I like to serve it in the pot, put it on a trivet in this because we are in a bistro.
Yeah.
We don't want it. It's not fancy. So
It's not fancy.
the last step is to take some of this and just cascade.
Cascade it.
top.
Good.
Okay?
Cascade it.
So now we have the integrity of the mushrooms, a few of these,
Ooh, a little pancetta
and we are
bites.
almost ready to serve. To this, we add, very important, a lot of parsley. And I like to let it sit with the parsley and hang out with the parsley because I swear the parsley gets into that sauce. It's such a great flavor. So I've sprinkled the pancetta on top of this, the onions and the mushrooms, and I put a touch of red wine vinegar. That's okay.
Look at that spoon.
And look at that.
Oh, Bourguignon.
I would take
Bourguignon
braised
yummy.
beef over expensive cut of steak any day of the week.
I think you're right.
Little chives. Because we're in.
This avant-garde plating. Is
Wow, a little side pony for
I
it.
feel really a side pony.
Yeah.
Wow.
We?
Man, I wish
no?
I had a goblet of Burgundy right now. I mean, what the hey?
Yeah, where's our red wine, Geoffrey?
I mean, it's a bistro show. I haven't had one sip of wine. Or
I know. It's a dry town.
Wow.
Dare I say it's almost better the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Go.
Let me get in there.
les
in there.
incompetents.
Bon appetit, tout le monde.
Yes, sir. Capiche.
My fusilli with sausage and oyster mushroom. Before anything, pasta. The pasta has been dropped in greatly salted water. And I'm doing a little different method here. I put very little water in, a lot of salt, and I cook it down so that it's almost gonna evaporate completely. I know it sounds odd, almost like you're doing a risotto. The amount of flour that you get out of that, the durum, the wheat, into the water helps this get really silky. So this sausage, this is spicy sausage. I like spicy sausage for this dish because it doesn't come across as hot. It's spicy, but it's not hot. It's
Yeah.
a big difference. So I browned it. You can see how brown that is. It's really brown. You want the bits and pieces on the edge to get that fat out. And what I'm looking for is the gold of that fat, okay? So to that fat, I'm gonna add some chopped garlic. Oh, it's like...
And this is so quick. Once you brown the
So quick,
sausage,
so
I mean,
quick.
right, it's coming because your pasta's already in the water. I know.
A little
you
bit
don't
of
wait.
pepperoncini. We're gonna add a little tomato paste. Why tomato paste? I think the paste really gives a depth to it. It's like adding a splash of Worcestershire or a splash of soy sauce.
It's not like adding tomato. I think
It
it
is,
should be
you're right.
tomato in parentheses, paste,
Ha,
because
yeah.
it's really like it adds a zing of, it's almost citrusy, it's almost acidic.
We're gonna put the mush right in here. Boom.
What if you can't find oyster mushrooms?
Anything you want.
Hen of the
White
woods.
mushrooms, hen of the woods, Paris
Shiitakes.
mushrooms, shiitakes,
Creminis?
creminis, yes.
Hey, did you cut the stems off the
Yeah.
oyster mushrooms?
I did. They're a little chewy.
I
Like,
think
it's like-
they're kind of woodsy, and I don't like to waste mushroom,
No.
but on shiitakes and oysters, I pop that stem off.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't bite it with your
My
front
pasta's
teeth, you
ready.
know?
My sausage is ready. My mushrooms are nicely browned. I'm gonna put them right from the water in here. And I'm just gonna get a little water. Careful, it is salty. You gotta be careful. Put that in there. Now at this point, I'm gonna add a touch of vino, which is unusual, kind of, right?
White wine, dry,
White wine.
sweet.
Dry white wine, always wine that you
Can
would
it be
drink.
cheap? Can it be like if you have a little bit left over in the door of the fridge from the last bottle you drank?
Absolutely. Okay, we're gonna taste. And at this point, this is when I shut the heat off and start adding a little bit of fromage.
What kind of cheese?
This is Parmesan, and that's Pecorino Romano. So we're gonna have 2 cheeses, a little butter, and a little fresh rosemary. Again,
Oh, this guy.
when you're making this sauce, I like to put a little bit more cheese in. Be careful with the cheese. It has to be off the fire. And if you see it's gonna be needing a touch more, just give it a touch more juice.
What are we looking for taste-wise right now at this point?
I'm looking for something that's balanced. The salt and the spice is balanced. The mushrooms are the mildest flavor here. They're actually more of a texture than anything else. But I think I just achieved it right then. I think it just happened.
You did it.
Yeah, and if you can see how glossy that looks, it really has this starchiness from that water and cooking it really low. And we are ready to dress. All right, a couple of finishing tips. Basil, I always tear. I don't cut it. I just think it ruins the oil and the flavor of it. Okay, so we're just gonna take some basil over the top.
This guy.
See this.
See from here.
Pecorino Romano,
Oh, look at that method. He's doing the whole side method. I like
all
that.
side. This really gets a lot.
Look at that. Load it up, brother.
A little extra virgin olive oil, and then we eat. Stroganoff is really good. So this is a very easy dish. We have in here beef top round in little strips. So you can have your butcher do this for you so it's easier. We put just a little canola oil in this. We get a really good sear. And we do not salt it. The reason why the salt pulls out the moisture, you get braise, you get a boil. So you want to really get a lot of color. And you see how that nice color is?
Wow.
And then at the very end, then I'm going to salt it. Okay? And then I'm going to take it out.
So you don't salt it before you brown it.
No, just this kind of methodology. So you don't want to get, you want to get that really, really brown first. And the salt will stop the browning. So into this gorgeous beef love here, we're going to add onions and mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
They're inexpensive, the most inexpensive mushroom. Don't get a fancy mushroom for this dish.
You're doing it without the can, because you know the can really makes it super inexpensive with the cream of mushroom.
And then we're going to add a little bit of thyme,
Yeah.
bay leaf, soy sauce.
Now, that's not a very traditional
Interesting.
ingredient.
I love soy sauce.
To give it a good depth of flavor.
Whole mustard.
Good.
Our beautiful, gorgeous,
That's beautifully seared.
Caramelized.
That looks great. Oh, man.
top round strips. And then we're gonna add this, which is just beef stock, unsalted. And then we're gonna turn it down and simmer it, or put it in the oven. You can actually put this in the oven, I think I prefer, for about 2 to 3 hours until it's very, very tender. This has to cook really, really down low so it gets completely tender, because it's a tough cut of meat.
Yeah,
it's a braiser, it really is.
Braiser.
Okay, so it's gonna look like this at the very end, and then we're gonna finish it.
Jeez.
So we're gonna add to this, we're gonna do the finish. The finish is, of course, a little sour cream and a little cream cheese.
Oh, geez, luscious.
Extra creamy and rich.
So-
Yeah,
what I'm gonna
what
do
is
is-
going on with your recipe?
I'm just gonna put this in and get it, you wanna put it all at once, it brings the temperature down too fast. I'm just gonna get it nicely dissolved, and then we're gonna add a little bit more. And if you want it a little less thick, you can add some water, don't worry about it. But it really, what's great about this stroganoff is it keeps its flavor. And the next day it gets even better. Just egg noodles, I'm gonna put the egg noodles just on the bottom of a bowl. And
Oh, yeah.
they can be room temperature or warm. It's gonna heat it up. And then
Oh, man.
I'm gonna take a little of my strog that is nice bubbling over here.
Oh my goodness, look
Okay.
at that.
You are such...
Kate, you can go
You're
ahead
a
and
gift.
pass that crock of
And then
utensils down
just
here.
a lot of fresh parsley, really important. Here you are, love.
Yeah, that's,
I'm going right for this. Oh, look at that. That beef looks like it's falling apart.
Jeff, be a man, all right?
oh, sorry. That one's for America. Can't reach.
GG.
Jesus.
You like
Hey,
that?
I mean,
There's so much rich flavor going on in there. It's just perfect.
Prosciutto-Wrapped Pork Loin. We need to be a little sage, butter, mustard sauce. So, sage, shallots, mustard, parsley, olive oil, salt, and pepper. And I'm gonna take this loin and thoroughly season it. We're gonna make the glaze. Okay, so brown sugar, spicy barbecue sauce. Star anise, a lot, orange zest. Cinnamon,
The whole stick.
chili, maple syrup. And you're just gonna bring that to a boil. Very simple, and that's it. Put it right in the middle. And then this.
Look
just
at
sort of
that.
into a 425-degree oven. Take it out for a second, and then you're gonna baste it with this beautiful syrup that we made. Look how nice it looks right now. Just baste it. And then, when it reaches 140 degrees, you bring it out and carve it.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, that's...
break it.
Yeah, that rub.
This is inspired by my mom, coffee cake recipe. So you're gonna do the topping. That's
Okay.
crushed walnuts, chopped, some sugar and cinnamon. Done.
Easy.
And then we have a stick of butter, which is 1/4 pound, right?
Yes.
And we're gonna cream the sugar and butter, the oldest method in the book.
I don't know, GZ. Did Mama have a stand mixer? Shouldn't you just be
She
hitting
did
that
this,
with
you know
like?
that thing?
Yeah.
Oh, the
yeah.
hand mixer.
Yeah,
Okay,
hand mixer.
all right, all right.
My
Was
mom-
it? Did she do it like this, or was
No,
it
no, it's
electric?
electric.
Okay,
My
I don't know
mom-
how old you are,
The same.
GZ. I'm just checking.
I think coffee cake screams holidays, too.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have one of these and your family's visiting.
Yes.
It's the morning, you're sitting around having a little coffee, a little talk, and some coffee cake.
Coffee cake.
It also makes a great gift.
Yes.
We're gonna, a couple of eggs go in.
But I've made it as a gift and then just eaten it.
That happens. Have you ever had coffee cake with coffee flavor?
No.
No.
Once I had coffee cake that had like a like espresso kind of crumble on top, and I've been chasing it ever since.
Well, you gotta
Okay,
make
so
it.
Yeah.
we cream the butter and sugar, added 2 eggs, so easy. Vanilla, and then we're gonna just slow this down, slow the roll, and add sour cream.
Oh, I love sour cream in a coffee cake. It makes it.
Hey, you know, since you're doing an old recipe, quick question. Have you guys heard the fact that, you know, back then the fat content and things like sour cream was different than the sour cream that we buy now?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
Was
mean-
it? Is it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, this baby's done. That's mixed. We're just gonna sift flour. And you can get a sifter. You just have these sifters that you
Oh,
go
yeah.
Yes.
The hand.
Still
I
have
got one of
one.
them.
Yeah.
Salt,
Oh, I love it.
baking powder, baking soda, baking powder, baking soda. One is single acting, one is twice acting. And then we're just gonna.
We never washed that flour thing either. It just went right
No,
back
never.
in the
You would never
cabinet.
wash that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think my mom's turned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's one
Right?
that turns and there
It
was
has
one
like
that
a-
had the grip, you
Yeah.
know?
So very low with this because I don't want to get anything on your lovely red blouse. And I'm just gonna
It's really all about you not getting anything on your lovely navy blazer.
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
I can see a blush through that tan.
How's that possible?
GZ, I just think it's really awesome, all of you, right? When you share a family heirloom recipe, it's more than special, you know? So thanks for sharing this with us, GZ.
My pleasure, and I know
I've never had one of your mom's baked recipes like
you're
this.
gonna have it today. Okay, so don't overwhip it because you don't want to do any development of gluten or anything like
The
that.
gloosh.
Gloosh. These are the greatest things ever. Springform pans.
Come on.
Butter it a lot, just really butter it, and it's thick.
It's gonna be a nice, heavy.
That's really good to see
dense
and know when a batter
cake.
feels thick and you just think, did I do it wrong? And the answer is no.
No,
No.
you didn't.
That's perfect.
Okay, Katie's gonna come along and sprinkle that love on top.
I sometimes like my
I'm gonna
waffle batter.
have a
that
little
thick.
bit more love here.
Here, go right in there. Thank you. This goes on top. 350, about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Just a little cake tester in, comes out clean. You're done. Let it sit. Should be served room temperature. Now, I wouldn't serve this warm.
I mean, I'd love to just kind of agree with you, but when something like this comes out of the oven,
don't
I
care.
don't
Say no.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. At least pick a little bit of the crumble off the top.
I don't
Look
care.
at this.
Let's see if Viola.
Oh, that's a coffee cake.
Mom, if it's not good, it's okay.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Oh, man.
Look at that beautiful crust around the
I just want
edges.
to take a piece.
You're gonna
out of
make this, next thing you know, your doorbell will ring. Unexpected company.
That reminds me of Sebastian
Yeah,
Maniscalco. Did you see that
The
bit he did?
Entenmann's, the coffee cake.
Is
and I
perfect.
serve this with a little sour cream on the
Yes,
side.
cheesy.
And powdered sugar.
Do.
Wow.
Okay.
Do.
Sonny?
I don't mind if I do. Let me get a whole fresh new fork.
Does this remind you a little of the coffee cake that comes in the rectangular box?
No, this is much better.
No, it is, but it's got that
got
same
that vibe.
Americana vibe.
You know, I love, Jeezy, you always balance things out. The sour cream is smart. You know what I'm saying? To just go with the sweetness of everything.
And I think this needs a cup of black coffee.
Yes.
Fancy
coffee.
cappuccino.
Oh.
Needs black coffee.
What, you're not having an espresso
No, not with
standing at
this.
your counter with
No.
your perfectly
This
groomed
is a pot
poodle?
of coffee she made on the
Vicente.
stove, percolated. You know the percolators, the old ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would boil over all the time.
You know, the perfect thing about this coffee cake is not just obvious the flavor. It's moist. It's not too dense. The crumble on top is perfectly crunchy and sweet and salty.
Cavatappi with sausage, mushroom, and kale.
Oh, yes.
Okay, kale is just amazing. So many kinds. You just hold it like this, nice and green and vibrant. It's how it should look. You just clean it. You can cut this up and saute it if you want. I'm not going to. I've just taken this and I've chopped it up in a bowl. Now, this is a hearty dish, right? So I have my water boiling and I have cavatappi, which is a beautifully curly pasta, which I love because the kale and the sausage and all the good stuff is gonna get inside there. So what I have here is a little bit of olive oil, and I put some sausage, Italian sausage. I browned and I've added some andouille sausage, which is a Calabrian sausage that has chili in it and it's soft. It is, to me, like extraordinary. It's fantastic. Some garlic. I'm gonna stir that in, turn the heat up, and then I'm gonna add some mushrooms. Not a lot, just a few. I have cremini, chanterelle, some shiitake.
Wow,
I'm just
this is
get
gonna
them.
be
This is gonna
good.
be really good. So I'm not putting a lot of color on them. I just wanna get them in there and get them softened up. To this, I'm gonna add a little white wine. You could add red wine if you so desired, or Lambrusco would go well with this. A sparkling Lambrusco.
Could I add white wine vinegar if I wanted to avoid the alcohol?
That's a good question. Of course you could. Yeah. And now we're just gonna let that simmer. And what that's gonna do is continue to cook the mushrooms a bit. And to this, we're gonna add our kale. Just gonna drop it on top.
Kale's full of calcium.
Yes.
It's got good iron in there. It's so healthy. It's one of the reasons that I love it so much. I love the way it tastes, but kale is really good for you. How much do you cook that kale?
It's done.
Just
I mean,
wilt
yeah,
it down.
You wanna wilt it. It does have like a little tooth feel to it, but this pasta can handle the sausage and the kale. This is a tough pasta,
Yeah.
cavatappi. Okay, so we have our cavatappi here. Now we have a little water, a little cooking liquid. I'm adding a touch of this because there's some starch in it. We don't, it's gonna thicken up a bit, but I think it's in really good shape. Now I'm putting this in. It's al dente, so it's 85% cooked. It's gonna end up cooking a little bit more in this.
I really like going straight from the pot into the sauce because you still have a little water on there. So you're putting some butter in there?
I'm gonna put a touch of butter in, but not yet. I just wanna make sure we get the liquid reduced to that liquid is just coming down, and this is what we do with every pasta. We're just gonna look for it, and I can feel that the pasta is perfectly cooked, and now I know that that pasta has all of the sauce inside of it. Then we're gonna put a touch of butter and a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and shut the heat off. You wanna put the cheese just a little bit at a time. A lot of people put too much cheese in too early, and you get those cheese curdy clumps, you know?
Yeah.
So just go like that. You can stir it if you want like that.
It's really one of your signatures, Geoffrey, is like perfectly buffed nails. You like a little dot of butter to make everything glossy.
Just a bit. I mean, if you go in northern Italy, they use a lot of butter. In southern Italy, they use less. But I think a touch is necessary. And there's a lot of chefs in the city. You go to their restaurant, you're like, oh, he's from the north, he's from the south. You can tell they're cooking right away. We're done. Shall we?
Plate it up.
Okay.
It looks so good.
Who wants this? Okay.
I love that you give me a spoon.
You need a spoon with this dish.
I love that. All right, here goes. The sausage has the meat flavor, but the mushroom gives the meat texture, so it's almost deceptive. And the mushroom is silky. The kale is sort of the connector between all the parts of this dish. Everything belongs, and it's just deeply delicious. I will fight someone for a dish like that. I will fight. There'll be a fight.
Iron Chef Spicy Shrimp Cocktail. So, 2 bay leaves, water, no salt, none, 0, peppercorns. End of story.
Bold!
Right here, I have my shrimp. They're U16, U12, U11, it's per pound. So if U16 are slightly smaller, U8s are jumbos, big ones. Anything too big, it becomes like a first course entree. It's chewy, it's too much shrimp at one time.
Yeah.
This is something you should dip with the tail into the sauce, eat it, throw this tail away, and go back for more right away.
So just to clarify, U12 means a pound is under 12 pieces.
Yes.
Is a pound in weight, which is a medium size. So a U8 under 8 is bigger.
Giant.
As the numbers get smaller, the shrimp gets bigger.
U1's a lobster.
Are you ready? Ketchup. Do you use ketchup when you're making this?
Love.
Okay.
What else would you use?
Well, there's other chili sauce and stuff like that.
No.
I use
That's
ketchup.
the best.
Okay.
The shinier, the better.
Yeah. Horseradish, like so much, it's ridiculous.
Jeffrey, that is a lot of
Yes, it is.
horseradish.
Okay, be careful. Hot sauce,
Who are you?
a little bit of chili,
Oh, a little chili
sweet chili
sauce.
glaze, yeah.
Chili glaze. Wow.
Lemon juice. Whoa. Worcestershire sauce.
There it is from the hometown.
I can't with the sweet chili sauce. That really surprised me. I
That's
love
it.
that.
So it should not appear red. It should appear almost like that. You see that? We're gonna let that sit and hang out. Now, our shrimp are going in.
Uh-oh.
Right here. I let that cook just for a little bit, just to get some of that. It's changed color. The peppercorn has changed color of the water. In boiling water. And now what we're gonna do is the most important thing. I don't keep my shrimp on ice. I don't put my shrimp in an ice bath after, because guess what they soak up? Water.
Water.
And I put them in the fridge after I cook them on this right away.
No shocking.
No shocking whatsoever, because it's another step, it's another waste of water and waste of time in a dish you gotta prepare. It shouldn't be hard to do this. This shrimp was thawed in the fridge overnight. I bought it peeled, cleaned, ready to go, frozen.
Wow.
Okay? You don't have to buy fresh shrimp for this. So now we're just gonna mend, and we're gonna take our time and look at this. You see?
What
Right
are
away,
you
they're always starting to curl a bit. So if you can see right now, they're starting to get white and translucent. This is gonna take not a lot of time, but you must cook them fully. I would err on the side of, should I say this? Of slightly overcooking them. If you're gonna go this route, be careful, you don't wanna undercook them.
Somebody write
undercooked
down the
shrimp.
date.
The nose heat is getting to his brain, I
Yeah,
think.
I
When you
think.
cut a shrimp in half that's cooked, it should be white the whole time.
You're moving them around a lot as
I
you
am.
cook. Why are you doing that?
Just because they'll cook evenly. This is just a little method. I don't have a lot of water. I don't have this big pot of water.
not a
These
boil.
go right on a paper towel.
You did it.
They're fully cooked. I'm gonna let you just take a smell of that. And you tell me what you smell. Just pass it down.
Just shrimp.
Okay, you don't smell lemon?
You don't spell
Yeah.
5,000
shrimp.
exotic, weird.
It smells like shrimp cocktail. The good ones
Old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned.
Shrimp cocktail. In the fridge, just like this, uncovered. In 5 minutes, it cools down. You're ready to serve it. That's it.
Can you blast chill it in the freezer?
Nah, you don't have
Feeling
to do that.
frisky?
Don't waste your time.
All right.
Put some more Sinatra on, make another martini.
There you go.
'Kay.
That sounds delicious. A dirty martini and a shrimp
Oh,
cocktail?
nothing like it. Now, I don't
Get
put
it
these
hot.
on ice when I serve them, shock them, or store them. They're always off ice. You put these out in small quantities, not large quantities, so they get eaten, then you take out more small quantities and fill up. You don't put like a whole stuff on ice. I hate them when they're on ice, because invariably you get a piece of ice and you're eating ice.
I hate that.
Okay, you ready? Here's our beautiful spicy sauce. This should destroy my nose. And that's where I like it to be
Wow.
at.
Very aggressive approach.
Jeffrey.
Like your septum's gonna melt.
Here we go.
Ooh.
Ready?
Oh my
Stage
God.
5 clinger.
My mouth is watering.
It is. Snappy. Snappy the shrimp. Uh-oh.
Good. You saw the horseradish. It's not too much. The sweet chili sauce actually tames it down. The long-range effect of this is you want more, and that's what a shrimp cocktail should want you to make. And this is so delicious. This sauce I just made for you, you can make a big batch of it. It's one of these things that lasts, actually gets better. Bucatini al Limone. We have a Bucatini I have it in salted water, a little olive oil, a few slices of garlic, pepperoncini, some pepper. Okay, we're just gonna stir this around. I'm going to add lemon juice, lemon zest of 3 lemons. And what I'm gonna add to that is just a little pasta water. Now, I'm just gonna put that right in the broth. So we have the pasta now, it's cooking into this, a little bit of butter. To this, we're gonna add some fresh green beans for a little color. It's Pecorino Romano, but I've really grated it, and then we're gonna toss it in. You wanna toss in cheese always 1 or 2 times. Okay, a little bit more, and I think we're good to go.
Ooh.
Pasta al limone.
I love the addition of the green beans in there.
Is that good? A little parsley.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
The freshness of the green beans are popping. This is delicious.
Making Hachis Parmentier.
Doesn't
it sound like something?
What does it mean?
It sounds mysterious, right?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Parmentier, Alex, why don't you give the Parmentier history? I'll give the Hashi.
Auguste Parmentier discovered the potato. Hashi, chopped or ground
like
meat,
hash.
and it's like a cottage pie.
I only made
Gourmet.
this, learned this, and made this in kitchens when you were the person that had to do staff meal. What does that
Totally.
mean? Like every day, someone, and usually it's someone who has some dexterity in the kitchen. They don't give it to everybody, but there's probably 5 or 6 people that do staff meal. What does that mean? Like if you're Monday, you're doing it Monday. So on Saturday, you got to plan what you're going to do for the staff. And usually it's you go into the walk-ins and you get all the scraps. You know, you're not buying anything. That key is
Perfect hash.
you can't buy anything.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we have here? First of all, we have a cast iron pan, which I love to use simply because it's a one-pan plan. When it goes on the table on a trivet, it stays warm the entire time. This must be warm to hot all the time. This is a leftover-ish kind of dish, but I'm changing it just because I know Iris. This is for Iris, actually.
Wow.
Everything in my world is for Iris, let's
We
be
can't get
honest.
Iris to eat vegetables, so I said it happens, but this is a good way. So in this, I have carrots, onions, celery. I put some parsnip because it's sweet.
Ooh, yeah.
And I'm just sauteing this, really get it soft. And Sonny, you're gonna do the potato. You're on the Parmentier side.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
potatoes.
Oh, I love potatoes.
This is
okay.
one
So
of
we're
my-
gonna do this first.
Yes,
or do you need
so
your parsley first?
Here we have the cooked potatoes.
Yeah.
Very, very soft. Nothing worse than an undercooked potato. You cannot cook it
Mash
medium rare and then cook it medium well. Once it's not cooked, it stays
over.
not cooked. Okay, she's gonna do this in the
Yeah, I'm gonna
food
run
mill.
'em.
One of my favorite tools. I think this is one of those tools that it's so old it's new. When you do tomato or puree of something, it really gets all the essence
at
out
that.
without emulsifying it. If you put it in a blender, it's a different mouthfeel. I love this. So you're gonna get those in there hot.
Yep,
They're
yep.
gonna stay warm, and you're gonna
Steaming.
chop some parsley.
Yes, chef.
Over to my beautiful veggies here. I have some dried thyme, some fresh thyme,
If you don't have this, you can use a ricer too. I use a
Of
ricer
course.
sometimes at home.
but don't put it in a food
No,
processor.
don't do
'cause
that.
it
Oh,
gets- you have
Like
rubber.
wallpaper glue.
Yeah. And some tomato paste.
So you use dried thyme
Yeah.
and fresh thyme?
Yeah, I mean,
Double time.
double time. I like that, bro.
You put garlic in there too, I saw,
I did
Jeff?
a good amount of garlic. And I usually, if I was making this a staff meal, I would put everything dried because the key is not to spend money. So this is a dish of leftovers, and it's seriously leftovers, right? Okay, to this, we're gonna add our beef. This is, you know what this is, Jeff?
Chuck, baby, Chuck.
It's chuck.
It smells so
There's
good
not enough
right
white
now.
dots in there. It feels like a 1585
Yeah, it does. Maybe
situation.
even a 1090.
I don't know if that's Chuck.
That's chuck. So how do you do
White.
this? I use another little tool.
Little
Potato
wow.
masher.
Yeah.
All the potato
Yes.
tool.
You know how you're making sausage and you gotta brown the sausage for the orecchiette with broccoli rabe? You take it out of the skin, it's not cooperating because it's big nuggets. This is what I use.
You know, it's like we all make shepherd's pie, cottage pie. It's time for the Hachis Parmentier to have its moment.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think you brought it to the surface.
All right, so you see, this is a critical part. You've got to get color here.
Gotta get-
You got to get the water out of the meat, and you got to get the flavor of everything. Now, I haven't put any salt in. Why is that, Jeff?
Because you don't like salt anymore because of your heart condition.
Because the beef won't brown as much if you put the salt
Yeah,
in
the
first.
moisture comes
Just
out.
like mushrooms,
Yeah.
right? You got to make sure that you have some caramelization there. The water's out, and once you see it starting and it's caramelizing, then at the very end, there's no reason to salt right now, other than if you really wanted to salt onions to get the onion flavor out, to get that onion juice, that's okay. But this beef here is going to boil first, and then it's going to fry.
Boy.
So when you see steam, this isn't smoke. This is steam. When you see that, you know it's nowhere near ready yet. We're going to add the red wine. Now, she's saying, well, I can't serve that to Irish. She's 3.
No, you cook it off.
Cook it out.
Cooks off. At this point, we're going to have a little salt and pepper, not too much. We're going to continue simmering this down. So, potato time. Are you ready?
Yes.
Hot potato.
Hot potato, hot potato.
A
All
little
of
bit
this?
of butter.
All of it?
What?
2 sticks?
Yeah.
2 sticks?
Double sticks?
Fold it in.
And I see more fat
Katie, you
over
work
there,
out.
too.
It's okay.
Yeah, fold it in and salt and pepper.
Right,
Now,
yeah.
the milk is on the side. It's
Work out
warm.
every
Must
day.
be warm. But
Yes.
do not, mistake is always putting milk in first is a mistake.
You want me to
wanna-
everything at once?
No, you want to fold the butter in first
Yeah.
and then everything else.
You
Okay.
gotta melt that butter.
Yes, you do. If not, you will have a kind of a mess. You'll see in a minute. So I'm not going to put too much in unless I really need to, but I am going to add a few more ingredients you might think that are a bit odd.
It's
Okay.
good that you're holding back.
I am
Yeah.
holding
Yeah,
back.
really
Right.
proud of you.
I'm holding back. And I'm going to put into this
Oh,
sour cream,
Oh.
a couple of egg yolks. Can I have
there you
that
go.
fork?
Just the
Yeah,
yolks,
take it.
right? You don't
Just
want
the
that.
yolks.
So the yolks will give it a nice color.
And flavor and mouthfeel.
By the way, sour cream mixed with egg yolks is actually called a liaison.
A liaison.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really important. You see what is critical. The butter's melted. How about some parsley? Why not?
Jesus.
Lots of
So
it.
it's like a
How about some
very
Parmesan
dangerous
cheese?
liaison.
Pretty
Hey,
darn
now.
good.
Parmesan cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
throw
not?
it in.
We're gonna save a little for something else, a little something, something at the end. Now, what do I have here? My meat into this red wine vinegar. It's really important to have a little acid in the Hachis Parmentier because this is a rich dish. Now, are we ready for the combination?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been waiting. Wow.
Okay, so I have a little game. A variety of forms of cottage pies exist around the world.
Yes.
Right.
So you are going to identify the country of origin for the specific dish I'm
okay.
giving you.
Ooh, this
All
is-
Hachis and their cousins.
Okay.
Hachis cousins.
So
this is fun.
shepherd's pie originates in what country?
England.
England.
I don't know,
Great
Scotland.
Britain.
Ireland,
Britannia.
right? That's-
Britannia.
I say England.
And the answer is Ireland.
Oh.
Like that makes it potatoes. Gotta have them spuds.
That's the Hashi queen over here. This dish runs deep. Okay, cottage pie.
England.
England?
England.
Scotland.
Scotland?
Cottage. England.
England?
I'll rock Scotland with you.
The answer is England.
Hey,
makes sense.
Jeffers.
I'm a hashi 2 for 2.
Okay, an empadome.
Empedome.
Ooh,
Oh, that's gotta be
Empedome.
Mexico.
Dome, like spell it.
Mexico.
China.
Philippines.
Can I change my answer to
Thailand.
Ecuador? Argentina.
Let's hear it, Alex.
Let's
Come
hear
on.
it.
Portugal.
Oh,
my
of course,
third.
Portugal.
That was
Okay.
my third
Okay,
one.
I
That
like
was
it.
I
my
said that
Makes sense.
Tuesday. Okay, you see our potato?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some melted butter on top.
Of course you are.
Oh. This is a low-calorie dish.
And I'm gonna sprinkle just a bit of Parmesan cheese.
Sure.
Do it.
Well, the egg yolk, I mean, here you're really using the egg yolk so to bind the potatoes and then make them more golden brown.
Are you ready? Iris is
I'm
hungry.
ready.
Into a 375-degree oven. It's gotta be at least 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And then in this cast iron thing, it is gonna stay hot.
It's gonna be
Okay?
bubbling.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what do we have here?
I'm already thinking, Jeffrey, for Iris, I might have to leave that parsley out because
Ooh, she will.
it'll be some serious investigation.
Wow.
Come on now. Hashi Pami, whatever.
Hachis Parmentier.
There you go,
Chef. Hey. Oh.
This is gorgeous.
Cheese.
You done with Hashi P?
It's a great
You
meal.
know me.
I was gonna say, this is like a dinner party worthy meal.
I
'Cause you
think-
could put that out with a green salad and some
Sunday.
crusty bread,
Sunday
and
with a-
everybody'd be thrilled.
Frisee salad on Sunday.
Oof.
Oh, yeah.
Sign
You
the
know-
pain.
And a great bottle of red wine.
You know what?
Okay.
Dare I say, this would be good for like game day stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
Great.
crowd
Make it
pleaser.
ahead.
Come on now.
That's the mountain climber version
Oh, my
there.
heavens.
Yeah.
Look at that.
There it
That
is.
is.
C'est magnifique.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right
Oh,
on top
okay,
there. How you
GZ.
do it?
Keep
Right
it
on
topping.
top.
Well,
Oh,
that's how you do family meal. You
This
just
is family meal.
Load
It's
it up.
no garnish and cuteness for the front of house. We just trying to get it in.
I want some of the like crusty bite of potato on top.
It's like when you got the Michelin judges coming, and this is what you want to serve your crew.
Today, for the moms, I'm making my beautiful bacon, onion, and cheese tart.
You said it.
Very simple. It's so delicious. So what we're gonna do very simply, I have started over here, if you can take a look at this, is onions that are finely sliced. I put them with bacon. I put them in together. Normally you wouldn't do this. All I wanna do is render it lightly. I'm just getting to soften the bacon up with the onions, and I didn't add any salt because the bacon's very salty. I'm gonna add some pepper. The thing here is I'm just getting it started because it's gonna cook again in the oven. This is usually you fry the bacon, get it crisp, take it out, and then fry in that fat. We don't want that. Now, if it gets a little hot, a secret I have, I know, Alex, you do this all the time in the kitchen as well, a little water. Water stops everything. and it produces steam. It lets it stop the caramelization, and if you want to restart it, put it back on the fire, and if it gets too brown again, put some water in. So this is just about done. I'm going to turn it off and let it just hang out in the pan. Very simple.
That's actually kind of radical, though, to not
It is. It's like
cook
it's
bacon crispy.
Yeah, it's a bread. I like to actually cook bacon with water in a pan, which is a weird way to do it, but it works.
Very good method.
Here I have farmer's cheese. It's unaged, right? It's just fresh cheese. So very inexpensive. You can find it anywhere. This is actually from the farmer's market. A little creme fraiche or double cream or whatever.
Cream.
Yeah.
GC, if you didn't have access to farmer's cheese, could you use like a cream cheese?
I wouldn't use a cream cheese. I'd use something that's a little not as sharp. Okay, so I'm putting that in here. The creme fraiche, 1 egg yolk, a little salt and pepper.
Yeah.
That's a good looking egg yolk.
How about
orange.
just like the cheap date?
No problem.
Could I mix cream cheese and sour cream?
You
half
sure
and
could.
half?
You could do sour
Soft
cream. You could,
cream
absolutely.
cheese.
What you're trying to do is get this consistency. You do need the yolk. The yolk provides a little, you know, it grabs the pastry, right? It has to, and it doesn't. If other than that, it's too wet. Okay.
Yeah.
It also adds such a nice richness
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
it and good color.
So let's get to the pastry. Really important, the pastry. This is store-bought puff pastry.
GC, don't you think that puff pastry is one of the things that store-bought is just as good, if not better, than homemade?
I got a whole list of things that are store-bought that are fine.
To me, it's like brownie mix and puff pastry, always store-bought.
There's nothing wrong with going to the store and buying stuff. You see how thin that is. Can you get in there and see how thin that is? So I've really rolled it out very thin.
All right, so you took the store-bought
Yes.
out and you just ran a pin over it.
So much so that one layer, there's another one of these in there. So you could actually make two with this
whoa.
mixture. So it's inexpensive and efficient and delicious. So our oven is on 425. We're gonna get some fresh thyme here. Did you grow this, Jeff, for me?
Yeah, I did in my vertical garden right there. That's upcycled. 28-ounce cans of San Marzano tomatoes.
We're gonna put some fresh thyme in here, just a little bit. If you drop the herb in, the stem, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I love that you didn't cook it in yet.
No, you don't wanna cook this in yet, no.
Bacon and thyme and onions.
Okay. So we're just gonna assemble. This couldn't be easier. Before we do that, let me get, I'm gonna dock it, which is, usually they have a docker, which is a rolling pin with little spikes on it, but you just use a fork. And the reason why you do this is to sort of decrease the rise of this without going to the edge, because the edge is gonna form a little rise, so it's gonna look higher in the edge and lower in the center. So don't
Crust. Pizza crust.
Yeah, you get
We're
something
going
like
for
that.
it.
But this is puff pastry and it has a lot of layers of butter, so this really flies up.
Poofs. It's a poof pastry.
So we have it on a parchment paper, easy cleanup. We're gonna take our egg creme fraiche delicious mixture here and just spread it. Not a lot.
I love a fancy recipe like this that's actually minimal effort.
It's not much at all.
People are very impressed with this. I make this all the time.
There's so much flavor going on in there.
Okay, so now we're just gonna take our onion, thyme, bacon mixture. It's like, this is sweated. It's not crisped up, really important. And we're gonna be generous with this because this is really where all the incredible flavor comes from, is that bacon. And the bacon has gone into the onion, which is even better. Oh, this is gonna get bubbly. The onion's gonna continue to cook. The bacon's gonna go to the next level. It's still not gonna get really crispy. That's not what we want. But what's really gonna make this thing is the combination together with that puff pastry and some chives on top is like to die for. Okay,
it is.
in the oven, 425, 25 minutes
Till it's poofy.
till it's cooked.
I like the border. You got to leave that border around there just so you have something to grab onto.
Well, you're gonna see the border in a second.
Can you do a stuffed crust like with like mozzarella
Oh
sticks?
man, this looks
You
good.
see that? So that's just like,
Oh,
see, that's
Jeffers.
because you've left that. And I always like to garnish this with,
Oh, don't burn yourself, buddy.
with a little fresh chives. Cut your chives if you can at the last minute.
Why is that?
You'll use less.
Yeah.
Because you have these chives, then what do you do with them? And you throw them in like anything, and it doesn't make any sense. Cut them like this, wrap them back up in a wet paper towel.
Smart.
Okay?
Smart, smart.
Are we ready to
So
taste?
pretty.
Oh,
And
I know
just
you're
so,
not done garnishing.
No, I'm
yet,
not.
though.
For Alex, I had to put something extra. So I'm gonna put a little pecorino romano.
This is a Geoffrey Zakarian
But I love
dish.
pecorino
It has
romano.
pecorino romano.
Yep, and chives.
I think of you every time I get out pecorino romano now.
I'm happy that that's what you think of. Okay, little pizza peel. These are fantastic. They're easy
Pizza
to
cutter.
They're just easier. Pizza cutter, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You got it, bro.
You put that out on the board like that, warm,
man.
with a bottle of champagne, and you will devour this literally.
Ooh, that looks
wow.
good. That crust.
You know I'm dying.
You're right, champagne would be so perfect with that.
Just the cheese, the onion, the bacon is just cooked enough, still pliable, and just the development of that puff pastry is so timely, but it adds so much, all those layers of butter. It's flaky, it's crispy, it's just buttery enough, and it's thin. I'm making a chicken paillard with arugula and apple. What I've done first, I have 2 beautiful chicken breasts pounded. Make sure they're the exact same size so they cook the same. On the side, I have fortified butter. What does that mean? It's butter, clarified butter, which is butter that's been brought to a boil and skimmed of its solids, milk solids, and a little bit of olive oil. And I'm just frying the rosemary in this just to give it another level of flavor. Now, I'm not gonna fry it hot. I want this really just to warm now.
I'm smelling garlic on the nose here. You got some in there?
Little
too?
garlic in there.
I knew
Okay,
it.
first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do our bread. We're gonna stand it.
Feb station.
Feb station, flour, egg, bread, but in place of the bread is almond flour. To the almond flour, I'm adding, smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, salt. Boom. Done. So we're gonna take a fork and just spread it around.
You can use any of the alternative flours, right?
Of course you can. Brown rice flour.
Brown rice flour,
chickpea flour,
gluten-free chickpea,
tapioca
yeah.
flour. Salt and pepper, both sides from above, so you can see this, the distribution. Equal
Distribution.
distribution. Okay, it's done. Boom, take that out. I put that over there. I take the garlic out. I put that over there. We crank it up a bit, so we're gonna get ready to fry. Before we fry, we're gonna show you how to make it. So I use this so you don't have to touch it. 1, 2, shake it off into the egg. This is just egg, little water.
So underrated, egg and water.
That's it.
Make it fluffy.
Take that off into this. Press it down a bit. You want to get some of that. You want to get it.
Oh, beautiful cottage.
Yeah, it's good cottage here.
What if you're totally, you know, like say you're celiac or zero carb or zero gluten? What can you?
Gluten-free flour.
Gluten-free for the dredge, right? The first
Absolutely.
dredge.
So I'm ready to go on with my first one. Again, great tip. Always away from you.
As you're putting it down, do you not feel that it's either gonna stick or it's not? You can feel it right at that
Yeah,
moment
no,
when it's.
This should not stick. Okay.
I love the clarified butter usage too, because you bring up the smoke point a little
I have
bit.
used-
You can hit it a little hard, and then you got the oil, which even fortifies it more.
I grew up in clarified butter cooking. This is what we use in every kitchen
Really?
in France and Italy. It's just what you use. Plus, the flavor is like off the chart. So I have a little rack set up here. I have my little rosemary here. If you want, you can throw it back in. Why don't we do that?
A little rosemary.
Okay, and we're just gonna let it hang out here. And it's gonna create its own crust. The biggest mistake people make is they just too fast. Just let it go. It's fine. If it's a 1 minute overcooked, it's not gonna be the end of the world. Okay?
You're frying it.
They're frying.
See how mellow the fry is. It's
Yeah.
just hot enough, but it's not.
It's got to be hot because you don't want it to get greasy. But it can't be too hot or it'll brown and cook and stick and get brown too fast and it won't cook inside.
We don't want that. We don't want it.
We're gonna flip this over here.
Oh, dude.
It should be firm. A minute. It'll be done in a minute. Now, at this point in time, I have a dual dressing. So what I have in this dish needs a cream somewhere. So I'm taking sour cream and water, some poppy seeds,
Ooh, classic.
some honey,
Like 80s style dressing. Poppy seed?
some
80,
honey.
remember? Poppy seed. You get that
I
lemon
know.
poppy seed
A little
muffin?
bit of Forum Chardonnay, my favorite vinegar in the world.
What was that? What kind of
Forum Chardonnay.
Form Chardonnay?
Forum. I'm gonna make a little hangout sauce for the lettuce. You'll see in a minute. So we're just gonna put that over there.
Could we use a white wine vinegar?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a Chardonnay vinegar made with 70% Chardonnay grapes and 30% verjus, right? Just grape juice. Put it here. Put it on a rack always because we want that residual oil to go away. Take that off the fire. Shut the fire off. And now we're gonna build our salad. So I'm just making a simple salad. I already have the vinegar, the acid here. A little oil, salt, some pepper, which is I love. And we're gonna toss this first.
What a great pairing, too. Classic. With any type of Paillard or Milanese, the arugula.
And some fresh apples.
Wow, brings a little sweetness to the party. Love it.
Like that?
I can't believe you left the skin on your apple.
Oh, always.
This is such a casual dinner for you.
With that.
Beady Paillard.
Nothing about that is heavy. It's crispy. Just look at it. You want to eat this. And so what I like to do is dress the salad right at the last minute.
Changing it up.
I was going
like
to put it
that.
on top, but I think it's so pretty. I don't want to, like, mess it up. Oh, yes. And this is your beautiful spiced almond-crusted chicken Paillard with a little bit of apple. Okay.
Look at that.
Then we take our poppy seed sour cream vinegar cream and just drizzle it on the top here.
Now, whoever requested this is gonna be happy.
Bon appetit. It's time to eat.
I feel like this is really something you eat on the regular for dinner.
I do. I'm gonna take this. I want to show you this chicken piece here.
No.
So if you can see the chicken is steaming, the crust is staying right on here.
Juicy.
I'm gonna dip a little in this here and get a little salad on my way out. Wow. The almond, the spice, the creaminess of the sour cream and the honey and the apple is just so springy and light, and you feel really good eating this. Linguini with the clams, or linguini vongole. The clams, I think, are most like vongole clams if you go to Italy, are these cockles from New Zealand, small, okay? These have been washed several times, soaked, washed again, scrubbed. But these are great because they're small. They sort of make sense in the bowl. I like to leave my shells in the linguine and clam. I think it's part of the romance of linguine and clams. Water salty as the
Ocean.
the sea, not the ocean. I like a flat surface. If you go and get mussels or clams and they put it in a pot like this, what happens? The bottom clam or mussel gets cooked, the top clam isn't open yet, that one gets overcooked, the top one opens, and then you have an uneven cooking distribution. So I like to put a generous amount of extra virgin olive oil.
I like this, not a big old deep pot.
And I'm just gonna take this garlic. Would you snip some of the stem? I like some of the stem in this.
Okay.
Not rough cut, not fancy, okay?
Rough cut.
And I'm just gonna cut these really thin, like this.
How many garlic cloves we've got
I have
over there?
5. this is enough for 3, 4
This is
people.
a garlicky dish, isn't it?
Well, it's supposed to be, but you wanna cut the garlic not too thin, not too thick, but it's really important that it's fresh and you cut it by hand. Okay, I'm gonna put one more in. I think that is actually enough. Judging by what I have here, I think this is plenty.
This
Now,
is
Geoffrey-
odoriferous parsley.
If you live in an area of the country like where I grew up, we didn't have fish markets, we didn't have access to fresh clams. I think canned clams are really good.
Nothing wrong with canned
Pasta
clams. If you
clams.
follow the same method, it will do the same thing, but it's just a different flavor. So we're gonna do this in real time. The anchovy, the garlic, the shallot goes in. And the shallot is maybe controversial. I like shallot in this for some reason. I think it's good. I'm gonna put a little pepperoncini.
It's naturally sweet the way the clams are and the pasta.
Yeah, and we're gonna lower this now. It's getting up to temperature. We're gonna lower it so we don't wanna burn the garlic.
Wow.
You can take that ice. I've kept them cold, fresh, very clean. They go right in. And important here to notice, I'm gonna put a touch of parsley in early. I've always done this is the way I was taught. I think it actually, a little cooked parsley and fresh parsley makes some sense.
I also think it goes in the clams as they're opening. I mean,
A
that
little
does
wine.
make sense.
I'm not putting a lot of wine, but you do need this water. Be careful it's salty, just a bit.
Just a bit.
Okay. And then we are gonna cover this. A quick shake. You do not want to cook this a lot. Once they open, they're done. This should be open maybe in 3 minutes.
It's kind of like popping popcorn, honestly, right?
That's it.
Just wait till they open and that's
Basically, when it's open, the dish is done. And so this is why I love this dish. It seems complicated, but it's not. It's just fresh ingredient, salted pasta, good pasta, a lot of fresh parsley, and let's
How
take a
long does
quick
it take
look.
those clams to open up?
Let's take a look. It's been probably 30 seconds since I covered them. They're starting to open here.
Yeah, I see a couple.
Okay? So we're doing that because the steam is now hitting the top of the pan and pushing down, so they open evenly. If you had this pot off and uncovered, they would open at different times. So pasta's about a minute. You want it al dente, 80%. You can see that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Madonna, I mean, look at all them little clamlets.
Really important. Why it's flat? Because it all cooks even. Get them out. They're done. They're done.
I could do all these with just a nice piece of crusted bread.
A piece of what?
Crusted
Yes, you
bread.
could.
Look at those pieces of garlic floating in there.
They're staying in there. So you want to get these out as quick as possible. But what you've done is you've stopped them from overcooking.
Preserve
Very
the
important.
texture.
Very important. Pasta is al dente. Guess where the pasta goes?
Right in the thing.
Right in
Straight
here.
in the pan. No need to dirty a colander. Let's just put it right in.
Colander, no.
We want that pasta water.
That pasta water, okay. And we're gonna let it do its magic.
Do your
Right here.
magic.
This is so few ingredients for you, Geoffrey. I don't even see any garnishes. I'm really unnerved.
Is it upsetting?
No, I like it.
So what's gonna happen is the liquid, as always, is gonna reduce, the oil is gonna stay, the pasta's gonna give its starch over, and this should start to be luxurious and creamy. Okay, I'm adding the pasta to the parsley,
Wow.
Okay.
which means a lot of parsley,
I heard that.
okay? This is so important. We are basically done. We're gonna add this back, okay?
My mouth is watered.
Right? Now, the olive oil is really important at the very end. Olive oil, when it cooks, flavor goes, garlic gets infused. This now is grassy and green, and you need that sort of flavor differential. So, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, brother.
So this is a traditional linguini vongole.
Bravo.
No cheese. Okay, you ready?
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right,
there you
so
go,
can
Katie.
I serve myself here?
Yes,
No, right out of
Katie,
that.
that's your happiness right there. That's your whole bowl.
All right. I'm gonna get some of this beautiful
Expertly
pasta. Look
cut
at
garlic
this.
and parsley,
Look
I
at
must
this.
say.
Oh my gosh,
When you want
Geoffrey.
something rough cut, holler at me.
This is
Okay.
a beautiful thing.
I'll do the rest.
Rustic.
You
All
just
right,
eat that.
all right. I'm gonna eat mine. You get everybody else plated up here. Got to get a little cockle out of the shell.
My mother's favorite pasta.
This? I'm gonna do that a little closer so Katie can have some room to eat there.
So Geoffrey, the pasta, finishing it in the sauce is so key because it actually absorbs some of it so you get that flavor all the way through. The clams are perfectly cooked and I love all this parsley in there.
We are gonna make devilish egg salad. This recipe is sort of an amped up version of your traditional egg salad. We're gonna give it some more flavor with the addition of a few not so secret ingredients that you already have in your pantry. Very easy, very simple, and I promise you'll never make egg salad the same way again, nor will you cook eggs the same way. So, first of all, very important, before we begin, you had some homework. You should have brought a pot of water to boil. There's a lot of myths about how to boil an egg. This is how I've been boiling eggs my entire career. You have boiling water, you have eggs, preferably room temperature eggs, but it doesn't really matter. Just take them out a little bit before. And I like to put them like this on a spider simply because I don't want to crack them. And I don't want to get my hands in that hot water. If I wanted to soft boil these eggs, I would set a timer for exactly 6 minutes. But we need hard-boiled eggs. So we're gonna make it a simmer, 12 minutes. Why are we doing it this way? A lot of people cover it, boil it, and then take it off. I like this method. You never get that green circle of sulfur that comes from a chemical reaction when you put them in cold water. So I always put them in boiling water. It's always worked for me. Now, while that is boiling, we're gonna get to our sauce. Okay, devilish eggs, what does that mean? We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna put some mayonnaise, which you have in your pantry, some mustard. Now, there are exact recipe amounts, but if you like a little more mustard, add more mustard. If you like a little more pickle flavor, add some more pickles. I like mustard. I'm a mustard nut. So, some sweet relish, again, right from the pantry. Here's one of the things I love, sriracha. Oh, be careful with that, unless you like it really spicy. Some Worcestershire sauce, delicious. And a little red wine vinegar. A little bit of smoked paprika. You could add red chili powder or crushed red pepper ground if you'd like. And one of my favorite seasonings in the world, celery salt. I love celery salt. I use this on my roast chickens, but in this, it's a real delicious addition. Okay, maybe a teaspoon of each or a little bit more if you like it. So we are gonna put this together, just like that. Very simple. Now, we're gonna add some vegetables. Celery is one of the most important things. So what I've done is I've taken the stalks. I haven't peeled them. I'm too lazy to do that. I've just taken the inside. I like the inside. I'm gonna discard that. And I put it down on the board, and I go straight through it, like that. And then if you can do it again, It just makes it very easy for you to dice. The celery really gives it this crunch that every egg salad should have. We're also chopping up the leaves. The leaves have tons of flavor. Okay, we're gonna add that. Really important to have all your ingredients, mise en place, ready before you start cooking. If you want to cook like a professional chef, we have everything ready. We don't go scurrying and running around the kitchen. You notice I have everything in front of me. That's really important. Last minute Larry, as I say, doesn't work because you get frustrated and then something burns or overcooks or you forget, and it just makes it not a fun experience. So I'm gonna add some of the green part of the scallion also. A lot of people throw this away, like they cut too much down of this. This is where all the flavor is. So as I said, you can always make it to your taste. All right? And then red bell pepper, yellow bell pepper. Remember, green, red, and yellow, it's all the same pepper. It's just a different maturity. The green is immature, then it turns red, then yellow. I'm gonna take this off. That looks about enough. Save this. I save this actually for my pet hamster, Bopper. He loves pepper. Simple dice. I just took the petals off. You don't have to be exact. This is gonna be for sort of a salad or a sandwich. Today, we're gonna make it into a salad. We're gonna put it in beautiful lettuce cups. All right. Just like this. This looks so good. I mean, just think of that on a sandwich or in a salad. Everything is so fresh. We're gonna put this all together, and then we're gonna add some salt and pepper. Give it a good grind of pepper. That looks great. I'm gonna add a touch more mayo. A lot of egg salads, you make them, they get very watery. You're gonna see that at first it's gonna start off dry, but when it sits in the refrigerator for about an hour, it sort of like gets a bit more wet. It sounds funny, but it is. And a lot of people make the mistake of way over mayonnaising their egg salad. So I'm gonna taste it to make sure it has enough oomph into it. It's oomphy. Eggs are cooking, not quite ready. Press pause. When we come back, the eggs are gonna be ready. I'm gonna show you how to peel them and another little hack that you're gonna love. Okay, it's been 12 minutes. Our perfect eggs are ready, hard boiled. We're gonna shut them off. We're gonna take them over to the sink and we're gonna run cold water on top of them. And what this does is it allows me to put my hand in there so I don't burn myself, A, and B, this way I have found is one of the best ways to immediately peel your eggs so they're completely peeled. So when the water is cold, you're gonna go in there, we're gonna start the process. So you're gonna take the egg and crack it on the end, on the other end, and you're gonna roll it like a steamroller. And then the peel slips off very easily. Okay? So we're gonna repeat that with all these eggs. And if you do it this way now, you'll have fun with your eggs instead of frustration when they're too cold or they've been in the fridge. Now, had I taken the eggs off at 6 minutes, we had a perfect soft-boiled egg. I've been doing this forever. I've told everyone how to do this. Even my mother-in-law now does it like this. You'll notice that there's not that green ring around the inside, which is caused by sulfur escaping and getting trapped by the cold water chemical process. There's no reason to cook an egg over 12, 13 minutes because it just gets rubbery. And I'm actually gonna show you one. I'm gonna cut one open and show you in a second until I'm all done. There's a little air pocket under the egg on the top that makes this method work. You can see how easy it is. It just, even without the water, it just pops right out. So let me shut the water off and then show you on the inside. If you get a close-up here, you can see how perfect that is. There's no ring here that's green. It's white to the yolk, and that's what you want. Now, I don't chop up eggs on a board. It's too much work. So what we're gonna do is use clean scissors to chop these eggs. And I just go in and cut them in half. I don't like a real pureed egg salad. I like to have some texture to it. And so I'm gonna go in, and then I'm gonna cut them in quarters with the scissors. And you can cut them more if you want, but you'll see when you add the sauce, they're gonna break up and get sort of emulsified. So just like that. Just get a few more seconds here. So that didn't take long, you see? And then we're gonna add our mayonnaise mixture to this. Now, what do? We're not gonna add all of this because we don't know the moisture content of the eggs yet. We don't know how much this is. We think it's perfect, but I wanna show you when I think perfect really occurs. So again, I'm gonna salt and pepper the eggs. They're asking for salt. Some fresh ground pepper. And then we're gonna add some of this mixture to that. Let's see how that looks right there. So, as you can see, I'm using a fork, a large fork, and I'm just pressing some of the big pieces, much like I would do if I was making guacamole. The same sort of methodology. This looks almost there. It looks a little dry, so I want to add a little bit more of this. This is good. So this is a really delicious, spicy, devilish egg salad. And I'm gonna serve it up today on beautiful radicchio cups because I think that you don't always have to have a sandwich. You can always have a nice little salad. So I'm just gonna put it here like this. But if you wanna put it on French baguette, grilled sourdough, or toasted Italian bread, whatever you want, help yourself. And then what I like to do is bring it to the table just like that and put a little gorgeous fresh herb, preferably cilantro, on top of each one. And I have some basil here also. Yum. The radicchio is such a perfect taste because it's a little peppery. I taste everything in balance. The mustard, the relish, the mayonnaise, that pop of celery salt is really amazing and adds to the crunchy celery. Team texture right here. Today I am making a cowboy steak on the grill, and this screams summer. And I so love this. When I do steak, this is what I cook. A couple of things. The ribeye is very expensive, but this feeds 4 to 6 people. It's fine. It really is fine.
Unless you're feeding me.
Unless I'm feeding you. Watercress to me is one of those things that is sort of underappreciated. You see it, you walk by it. But in a long time ago, every steak used to come. You know, remember a big clump of watercress on it? I'm sort of taking that to another level, so I need your help.
And I like how the grease gets into the salad when it's on the plate.
I'm making a really delicious vinaigrette here with some shallots, mustard, red wine vinegar, salt, pepper, and a touch of anchovy paste, all right?
Oh, so, that adds so much
really
flavor.
good.
I love
So we
that.
have some watercress here. I want you to pick some more watercress.
Okay.
Slice me some radishes, a little bit of fresh tarragon, and we're gonna dress that, all right?
Great. Well, my canines are watering. So
All right, so we're gonna. So what we've done for this steak, it's really important, everybody. Listen to these tips because it's the way to cook a proper steak. You want the steak medium rare from top to bottom. To get that, you have to pull the steak out of the refrigerator, let it come to room temperature at least 30 minutes before it hits that grill. All right, so what I've done overnight is I've salted it, both sides, put it on a rack, put it in the refrigerator, drying it out and uncovered so it really starts to season inside because there's a lot of steak here. I'm gonna season it slightly again, not too much because there's a lot of salt on there already. And this is a dry aged steak, which means we bought this 28-day aged. So that means the water has come out of it. Water equals weight. So you're actually buying a steak less heavy. So when you're paying a lot of money per pound, you're also getting more steak that's dried, less weight. So it's actually not as expensive as you think. We're gonna take this steak, all rested, and just put it on the grill that's really hot. And after a while, it's gonna tell, when you go like this and it just comes up easy, it's ready to turn. It'll tell you. So the steak has 4 sides. 1, 2, very important. You must cook it on that side. That's the flap and the rib side. You need to cook it on that side. 3, and then 4. So we're gonna go through that process. And we've had this steak started right here. And this is ready to go to the indirect side. And we're gonna let it cook there. And how long should it cook? 125 degrees. Do not press it, touch it. Forget the thumb and all that stuff. Use this, the digital thermometer. I advise you not to use these. These are okay,
Yeah.
but they're not accurate enough. So get a digital thermometer, very inexpensive, 125 degrees. Take it out and rest it. It'll be spectacular, I promise you. Okay, so we've taken the steak off the indirect heat, 125 degrees, right? It's rested up. It goes about 5 to 7 degrees with a 2-inch piece of meat. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the bone off first, a little steel first, and I am going to just take it down here. You just wanna go right along the bone.
Favorite cut of meat, right?
And I put that back just for a second.
Yes,
Just for a
yes.
second.
Crisp it up,
And then watch this,
please.
very important. You want to cut against the grain. So let's just take a look at this and just
let's
look
talk and slice.
how evenly it's cooked all the way through.
What do you do
Beautiful.
with
Yeah,
if
baby.
that rests a real long time? What do you do with all those residual juices?
You can use them again, just warm them up.
The salad dressing.
Get out of
Yes.
Dodge Jeezy.
That's what we do.
Here comes the claw.
Okay, so hold on a second. We're just going to take this here, maybe one little, oh, that looks
Look
good.
at that.
You help me out with that? The end piece. And look, hardly any juices that come off this. We're going to take a little of this juice here.
Oh, that's
right here.
yeah.
That is all
Oh,
gravy.
yeah, baby.
All right?
All right, can I dress this
You
salad?
can dress the salad.
So that's a medium rare, right?
That's medium rare. But
Okay.
see, it's medium rare. If it's hold up a piece, it's a medium
Yeah,
rare all the way
beautiful.
through.
Yep.
And there you go,
Okay.
Katie. Let's see what you think. Come on, come on. Oh. How about a little sea salt on that, maybe? Does it need any salt? Hand-roasted filet mignon with green peppercorns. We're gonna take and season our steak from above with kosher salt so you can see coverage. You need complete coverage and a good amount of salt. I know it looks like a lot. I get comments all the time, the amount of salt I use. But you gotta season the meat, and when you season it, if you come and eat in my restaurant, you get the steak, you never say it's salty. And this is how we season it, right?
Darn Skippy.
I'm sure you do the same thing in your kitchen, Alex?
Definitely.
Salt is everything. Then cracked pepper, black pepper, and then we have green peppercorns, which are just unripened versions of this that are brined. And the reason why they're brined is because they're perishable if you don't brine them.
No.
Did you know that, Jeff?
I did not know that. They're not dried out since they're still fresh. They still have a little life in them, if you
Okay. We're gonna go like this, and we're gonna go right into, well, that's gonna show you first. So just once, a light tap. A light tap like that, just so it's covered.
Texture bombs, little guys like that, right? Just texture.
Beautiful. Now,
mean, we
you could
kinda
rub
want-
you could rub mustard on this if you want,
Really?
but you don't have to.
And that's like a butcher pepper, so it's chopped up?
This is a butcher pepper, yeah. It should be like screaming hot. The pan should be like 400 or 500 degrees. And you should see a little smoke. I have an unseasoned oil, like a canola or grapeseed oil. Okay, so really important. You put it in the pan, and then what do you do, Jeff?
You leave it be. Leave it alone.
Now we're just gonna wait and cook these, probably 2 to 3 minutes on each side. You want them rare. We're gonna let them rest, then we're gonna make our pan sauce. Okay, so I'm just taking a flip on these. Take a look at them. Some of the peppercorn came off. It's totally fine. It's all gonna be in that sauce. You see how nice it is? Now, really the key to any steak or any piece of beef, room temperature, at least 30 to 40 minutes outside of the fridge, because it'll cook medium rare to medium rare.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We want this 120 internal at most.
Wow, Geoffrey, look at that.
Okay, so here we are. We have our steaks. Now, you have to watch the steak. Some of them's a little, this one's a little thinner than the other. That's rare right now, so I took it out. It's resting, very important. Let's go. We're gonna take these, now we're resting them. They're very rare. We're gonna turn this down just a bit. We're gonna add some shallots, some
Now,
garlic.
I get asked so much, when do I use a shallot and when do I use an onion? And I think if you're making a sauce like this, it's really savory, the shallot is just the most special.
And some of the green peppercorns.
Oh.
Okay. We're just gonna clean the pan. And I've got this a little lower, so it's not too scorching hot. I just wanna get these, you can color this, it's okay because you're gonna actually add cream and stock, so there's a little color on it, don't worry about it. But you see how nice that is? You've just soaked up all the steak flavor is in these shallots. Then we're gonna add our beef stock. And we're gonna add cream.
Wow.
Turn
Needs
it up.
again. No fat. I mean, it needs a little
And a little Worcestershire
luxuriousness.
sauce. You want to really get it to a point where I can add the butter at the right point. If I add the butter right now, it's going to get greasy. So when I add the butter at the very end, just to give it that gloss, it's not supposed to thicken it up. Okay, so we've reduced this about 4 or 5 minutes, and we're looking for what? Before we put the butter in, we're looking for nappe, which means you put a spoon in, And you see that, you see? It holds the line.
Holds the line.
Holds the line.
Firm.
You need to have butter in this. This is the finished product, and it gives it a little bit of shine. And just like this, and you'll see right away the gloss come up. Then we're gonna turn it down. Just let that butter do its magic. And it just adds sort of a silken texture that's perfect, really. And then what I like to do is put the steak in at this point, just so it sort of hangs out for a bit. And any of the juice that might be on the pan.
Getting that pepper over here.
Oh, he's
Just
got
getting
it, yeah.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is get an internal temp of about 120, right? And then you're just going to let that sort of hang out. Look at that, huh? And that is a really, really nice way to serve a steak.
Your guests are going to be talking about this for a while.
I'm going to add a little bit of fresh parsley
Ooh, wow.
and a touch of red wine vinegar. Okay. Shaky shake, and we're ready to serve. Jeff, you're up.
Please.
That looks so good.
I mean, this is like, it's hitting everything for me. Beautiful. Yeah, I need to have a bite.
Perfectly
like now.
cooked.
Yep. Huh. Beefy, of course. Rich, of course. But the pop of both of those peppercorns on there are phenomenal. That spice is doing more than just burning my tongue. It's like opening my taste buds more to accept in more of that beefy, decadent flavor.
Italian meat and cheese French bread pizza. Oh my gosh. First of all, always extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
A little, just to get the thing started. You got to start the engine of the sandwich, right?
Little drizzle.
I think Jeff Morrow would approve of that. Little salt and pepper. This is jarred marinara. You can make your own, but you don't have to. And then some deli meat. So I have, in honor of Jeff Morrow, some sopressata, which is really a rough grind salami, a lot of spicy. You don't want to lay it flat. You want to try to ribbon as much as possible. I learned that from the Sandwich King. Some regular salami again. I'm just going to like sort of make it nice and ribbony, right? I'm not going to lay it flat. You want it to be fluffy. So some smoked mozzarella right on top, just like that. We're going to come down to the home stretch. We are going to put that in the oven at 450 for about 10 minutes. That's finished with the cheese. And I also like to finish with a little bit of Parmesan cheese ground before I put it in. All right, I'm going in 450, about 10 minutes, nice and melty melt, and I'm gonna finish it. In the meantime, Sunny, start your engine.
Yes, so I have that half of French bread that Jeezy had. Let me tell you what I'm about to make for you. I'm making my easy chili cheese French bread pizza. So simple. I've got the same bread. I've hollowed it out a little bit though. So this is just store-bought garlic butter. I'm gonna get this into the oven to toast it. You could do 400, 450. You're just going for the edges to get lightly golden brown, and then you're gonna bring it back out and top it. Get this in here. Should only take about, 10 minutes for it to get like this. Then on the inside, I'm gonna add my 5-ingredient chili. So the 5 ingredients are so simple. It's just some ground beef, a can of tomatoes and green chilies, a can of black beans, an onion, and chili powder. All right, so I'm gonna get this into the hollows here. Just scoop this in here. Gonna add a blend of cheese, just cheddar and Monterey Jack. Over the top of that, just, think about the serving size and put a jalapeno freshly sliced. I'm gonna get this into the oven for about 15, 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Jeezy, what is going on over the top?
All right, get in here real close and look what I've done. You see how nice and crispy and crunchy the cheese has gotten? Oozing all over the place. I'm gonna top this off with some of my favorite things. This is ricotta salata, which is basically a ricotta that's dry and aged. It's gonna crumble right on top of that. And be generous with this stuff. This is not a day to be parsimonious.
His favorite word for me. Look
Some
at it.
olives, regular black olives, pitted, of course, on top of that. Pickled peppers, some pickled canned peppers, cherry peppers, any of your favorite peppers on that. Giardiniera, if you'd like. A lot of giardiniera. You want to have that nice spice, which is going to really work against all that cheese and meat. And then fresh basil. I just like to tear it up with my hands, put it on top like that. Be very generous with this. You want to have that fresh basil pop in your mouth to go with that nice giardiniera and the pickle, and then an olive, and then gotta be
What?
spicy. Some red pepper flakes.
Look who just ran onto my field,
Oh, that looks
GZ.
beautiful.
My entire defensive line, okay?
Some grated pecorino romano, and just to top it off, because you can, and I love to.
That's beautiful.
A little extra virgin olive oil. There you go. Look at that.
All right, over here, putting a little bit of scallions over the top, making it rain scallions.
Rain. Make it rain. You can't have enough basil or cheese, as far as I'm concerned.
Cilantro over the top to
Cilantro.
kind of match your basil love.
Oh.
Then a nice drizzle of crema. Just get that on there. And then a
you ready
nice
to-
shake of hot sauce. You ready to
Almost
put
ready?
this down, GZ?
That is delicious. The crunch.
Oh.
Sonny. We got at least 12 or 15 people fed here. Easy. So this is my upstate-style roast beef sandwich. First things first, get the oven on like 450. We'll work with that later, but just want to get that preheated. And I am taking, you know what this is, Jeff? Come on, Mr.
Chucky.
Uh-huh.
It's a sirloin.
It's a
What is
eye of the
it?
round, top
Eye
round.
of round.
So we need some spices for this, and all these are dry spices. This is what's really the key to this. It should be dry spices, not fresh herbs, okay? We're just gonna put some meat glue or Dijon mustard on, so, so it just adheres. So just get this room temperature, remember, so it roasts evenly. You know,
Why-
that's secret.
Why are you departing from the Zakarian credo of fresh herbs and going dry here?
It's what they do, and it's so good. I like, why mess with it with fresh
Maybe
herbs?
the texture, right? It's like a rub.
You're not gonna taste really the mustard. It just really helps get everything adhered. So we're doing oregano, parsley, dried parsley. You can put dried thyme. I'm just getting, whatever I add in the box, I like.
This would be
Oregano,
good
dried parsley,
use of
dried
the dried Italian seasoning with like
Yeah.
all
that together.
All the
It's
herbs.
a great idea, Jeff.
I know.
So there's some sage, oregano, and you can use Mexican oregano. I like Mexican oregano. Do you use that? I think
Yeah.
it's
Love it, floral.
It's really
super floral.
very floral. And then we are gonna salt it like there's no tomorrow.
So your seasoning, I mean, clearly on all sides.
Yes.
Critical.
Critical. A good amount of pepper, but we're gonna put a ton of pepper in the sauce, which is really the best part of this is, I think, the sauce and that thing right there, which I'm gonna show you about. All right, so, again, this is a big hunk of meat. My oven is on 450. We're gonna start it out high, and then we're gonna drop it down for about 20 minutes to 300 and let it get to an internal temperature. People ask me how long, how many pounds per minute. I'm like, I don't go like that. It's just I can't think like that. We're looking for an internal temp of 110 to 115. Bring it out and let it actually get cold and rest. So let's not get ahead of ourselves, Jeff.
Yes.
Let's put this in here. A piece of rosemary. I don't know if Charlie put rosemary on that, Charlie the butcher, but I'm doing it anyways. I like it. Some Worcestershire sauce. Some soy sauce.
So all that's just gonna mix with those meat drippings
Oh,
and get
you got it,
super
Katie.
delicious.
And some beef juice. This is where, I would say, forget the vegetable stock or chicken stock. You need beef stock for this one.
Yes, you
All right. You ready? So I brought this out, and I'm resting it until it gets room
Look at
temperature or
that.
cold. So this is just, it's chilled, but we're gonna slice it in a minute. First, we have to make the sauce.
Oh, it
Ready for the
smells
sauce?
so beefy in here right now.
So if you're going to the game, you can make this, put it in your cooler, bring it, slice it up, and make your sandwiches.
Yes. So we have now some sour cream, some cider vinegar, a boatload of horseradish. Really important that it has nose feel, because this is it's dense meat, and you really want to.
Nose heat.
Is that
Especially
a
at the
culinary
end.
term?
No, I just made
Nose
that up.
feel?
It sounds like you just made it up. Sounds like something I would say.
And again, a good amount of pepper. This is really very important that this is spicy and peppery, because this is a relatively fat-free piece of meat, and you need this to sort of.
Oh,
give it
good.
some
I can have
taste.
double
Yeah,
this.
free.
Fat-free.
Sign me
Except
up.
for the butter.
Give
on
me
top.
extra sauce in that
know.
case.
All right, here's our, just smelling it makes me go crazy. All right, that's done. But then the beef, the weck, this is the roll. It's a soft roll, right? It's sort of like very airy, almost brioche-like.
Kaiser-like.
Kaiser Sosa roll.
There's
Jeffrey,
no
what
Kaiser
does
Sose
on
rolls
weck
here.
mean?
On
My
weck.
favorite.
It's just the
Favorite
roll.
baseball player.
The beef on weck, and I'm gonna make it right now, all right? A lot of melted butter.
Well, the full name for the roll is a Kummelweck roll.
Yes, Kemmelweck. So, caraway seeds, a good amount of them on top. You're just gonna pop this in the oven for 5 or 6 minutes, just so it just sets, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of salt, again, but salt that
Coarse.
doesn't, coarse
Coarse
salt.
salt.
Or sanding salt, right? What do they call that? Sanding salt?
Sure. Well, it's sandy sugar, but we're making
You know,
up a
when you
lot of
put it on
things.
an apple tart,
Like
sanding
flaky
sugar.
sea salt would be good, right? Like
Yeah, but this is really chunky. You want this to get in your teeth.
Coarse salt, right?
Yeah. Just set it, right? And forget it 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Just set it. That's all you want.
trust you.
Are you ready to have a sandy?
I'm ready. I sat in the right seat today.
Yes, you did. Okay.
Sauce, meat, bread.
Yes.
Done. Classic.
Okay, so we need sauce. So Jeff, I like to put the sauce on the bottom.
And why is
It
that?
is controversial, but in this application, because I know you're gonna put
Yeah.
some more of the drippings on the top, right?
And here's what I like to do also, some shaved onion, but very, very,
Wow.
very finely
And
shaved.
That's like a
yellow or
deli
white
slicer.
onion. Ooh.
Yeah, right. A little more, just, I know you like onions, Katie.
Man, I tell you what, I'm gonna be tasting this all day long.
Yeah, you
I
will.
can already
Just
tell
when you
starting the
think that
day
you-
off.
Yep.
Slice it here, so you can
Oh,
see.
I want that little end piece.
This is a good time if you have a gas-powered deli slicer at the tailgate to rip it up.
Oh, I got an amuse-bouche.
Can you see that? So, you see how nicely it's cooked all the way through? Mm-hmm. That's when you rest it, when you make sure that you start at room temperature. Oh.
And you need a really sharp knife to get those
So I'm gonna
nice
put a little, I
thin-
have this is the secret sauce that came off the pan, and we just strained it and put it in here. It's just, it's everything that, the mustard, the oregano, sage.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
gonna drop it in here.
Just a quick dip, right?
It's a little dip in the swimming pool,
That's it.
a quick dip, you know, no shampoo. We're not shampooing our hair today.
Wow.
Okay, Katie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna,
Double sauce application, top, bottom.
Oh,
Whoa.
this is gonna clear
Breaking
my
all-
sinuses.
Breaking all the rules today, this guy. Oh,
Katie, you changed her whole body. She hunched down.
She did the bite. She wore the sandwich sweater, so she get.
Oh. My God.
okay, that's really the first thing I had when I got to Buffalo. Even before I got to the future in-laws house.
That's unbelievable. Okay, first of all, the bun is so soft, and having that salt and the caraway seeds, I got it all over me, right? All over.
It's okay.
At least I didn't get any on me, but it's still
The day is young.
early.
Yeah.
And then the beef is so tender.
Egg Foo Young, it sounds exotic, but it's a Chinese-American, it sort of came from Singapore. It's a breakfast omelet.
It is.
And
It's a
like
fried omelet, right?
It has pork, it has mushrooms, it has bean sprouts, scallions, ginger. Okay, Jeff,
What do you
you're
want me to
making
do?
the sauce, the Egg Foo Young sauce. And Egg Foo Young translates into hibiscus egg.
Really?
What?
Yeah, because it looks like a hibiscus flower when it's done.
Little did I know.
How about that? So you're making a slurry, which is
Okay.
water, cornstarch, some hoisin sauce, and chicken stock. And
That's
that's
it.
gonna be our sauce. You don't wanna make one, you're gonna make a bunch of these. So
Yeah.
I have 8 eggs in a bowl. I'm gonna add some salt and some soy sauce. Into this, we're gonna put ground pork that's cooked, a good amount of cilantro, really important, scallions, bean sprouts.
Okay.
You can put mushrooms. Mushrooms are really common as well.
Yeah.
I
in this
love
dish.
beans. I love the texture and crunch.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Sprouts, yeah.
Carrots,
Very
some
nice.
ginger and garlic. Thank you, Jeff.
Is that grated garlic and ginger?
Grated
right?
garlic and ginger, and we're just gonna mix this up first, and then get our wok hot. So the wok, we're gonna put a pretty generous amount of oil, and this isn't gonna be a perfect omelet that's not brown and, you know, it's folded and just touched lightly. This is real fire cooking. So, we're gonna wait till that gets hot. Really important you have a hot wok. And to this, we're gonna add our egg. We're gonna put the garnishes over here.
How could this not be good?
Oh,
this is just
see?
what the dog. I love this. I always
Do
order
this-
egg Foo Young on the
Really?
Chinese takeout menu.
See the equal distribution?
Distribution,
Okay?
equalization.
And you wanna make sure you keep on mixing it so the egg and the vegetables don't separate while the heat's going.
Got it.
So it's just looking hot enough here. See the little smoke?
I like
We
it.
are ready to go. Take a ladle.
Okay, with the ladle.
You're at the ladle, ready?
There it is.
Oh, yeah,
There you
baby. Ooh. Just flatten it, have some fun, relax.
Yeah.
See, it doesn't stick. So see how nicely that is? It just comes off the bottom. I'm gonna put a little pepper in here because
Look at this guy.
the pepper mill's next to it.
What you? Come on.
So I'm gonna take a look underneath it, almost. Let's see if we can flatten it out here. Okay. I'm just gonna let it fry a bit more, and that's basically it.
It smells like egg Foo Young, like I just opened the to-go container.
What it is.
You know?
Don't you dare.
What it is.
I hope this is better than takeout.
Okay, so we're just gonna, I wanna space them out like that. And here's that, look at that beautiful sauce.
I zhuzhed it up a little bit with
Did
a
you
little
zhuzh it?
extra soy.
Okay.
Yeah, you know me.
Really beautiful drizzle on top of that.
Because usually it is swimming in that sauce, you know?
It has to have, so this is the secret sauce of the sauces. Some
heard it
sesame
here
seeds, some scallions,
Scallion cheese.
and some fresh cilantro.
Cilantronelli.
Making my pasta salad with tomatoes, cucumbers, and grilled green onion crushed olive vinaigrette.
Wowie.
Into this very generously salted pot of generously salted water, I have put my, what is this, Jeff? Can you name that pasta?
Fusilli.
Fusilli, and I love this because this grabs. You need grabbing pasta.
I like fusilli for a pasta salad.
So I'm gonna take these grilled, I have some beautiful grilled scallions, nice and charred. We've been doing this all spring. I love this, really, it's really fantastic. Our pasta's in, that's where the magic happens. This water has to be very salted like the sea because we are not using this water. If you were making a sauce in the pan, you would make it salty as broth. So when you added it, it wouldn't get too salty. So in this case, we're gonna fully cook it to a real al dente, but really salty, okay? Then we're gonna make a vinaigrette. That's our flavoring agent, a vinaigrette. What do we have? We have mustard. What else do we have, Jeff? Olive oil. And vinegar, Chardonnay vinegar. I like
Chardonnay.
Chardonnay vinegar. I like 50-50. I don't like 3-to-1. I'm always very vinegary. Like I believe both of you are very vinegary as well. Okay, pasta's cooking. I have all my mise en place here. I'm gonna chop up these beautiful scallions.
So good.
Oh. My gosh, hot, hot.
You can do it. We believe in you.
This is just olive oil, salt, and pepper. Very simple.
Oh my God.
Oh, heavens.
Let's taste this. I think it's gonna be fine. So this is what's gonna flavor the pasta plus everything else we're putting in. The pasta, strangely enough, doesn't need a lot of things for flavoring. A lot of dressings and mayo is too much dressing. It just overwhelms the pasta. I know you do. Okay, so we're gonna put all our stuff here. And then we're gonna wait for our pasta to cook because I want the pasta to really hit the vinaigrette and really soak up that vinaigrette. Because everything else is just gonna go along for the ride, all right?
Nice.
So what do we have here? We have some Kalamata olives, some fresh dill, some fresh Italian parsley, and some provolone, which is hard to leave alone, especially when it's cut up. Some red onions, and some tomatoes that I've lightly salted, and some arugula. That's the ingredient.
Provolone.
Provolone.
Mystery little addition there.
Jeff, you love provolone.
I love it. Shoot me.
Very good, excellent.
Provolone Express, next up, my mouth.
Jeffrey, I love that you're making this room temp. I love that you're dropping hot pasta into a vinaigrette so it absorbs everything. But I just love that cold elbow macaroni salad with mayo
That's in the
out of
deli
the fridge.
case, right? It's in the deli case.
From a deli guy, I am not a fan of deli-style mac salad or any type of pasta salad. I like this. This is how I make my pasta salads.
Revelation.
I'm with you.
Revelation.
Katie, help me.
I'm with you.
We're good.
Here we go.
That's
We don't drain it. Just do the whole,
Okay,
they call this the lazy method.
Sammy the spider. Look at him go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
another
if you
thing
don't
that I
have
like,
one of
my-
those spiders,
My
get
pasta
one.
salads are like 1/3 pasta, 2/3 salads. I don't like a lot of pasta ratio. A lot of people put a lot of pasta in just a little stuff.
Another thing
That's
I
all the
agree with
pasta.
you on, Jeff. What is
I'm
going
with you on that, Jeffrey, because I like a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Olives, parsley, dill, provolone. Yeah, that's for you.
Thank you. Just put it in my provolone zone.
I guess since we don't agree with him on everything, we don't get any cheese.
Onions.
You guys,
Tomato.
you didn't play it right.
Okay, and a lot of pepper. You gotta have pepper. Pepper wakes everything up, especially pasta salad. And Alex is determining what this tastes like. Last thing, arugula.
You're right. I really am. I'm doing a little math equation in my head. It looks great. I can smell it from here, too.
So
'cause it's
the
hot.
pasta is gonna suck up all that. The warmth is gonna slightly wilt the arugula, but I'm gonna put some fresh on top so you have fresh and cooked. And that's the key, to me, to a real pasta salad. that you will go back to every time, and it actually, all this mixing will put it to a temperature that's really ambient, so you'll be able to eat it. There has to be a balance between the green and the vinaigrette, and the pasta just is there to like beef everything up. Are you ready? I'm gonna give a TV shot.
I have to say, this is beautiful and fresh looking.
Why do you want mayo? Your pasta salad will not look like this if you put mayo in.
You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to eat a bowl of macaroni salad with the mayo while looking at this. I would be really happy.
Why can't you just have both, you know?
You can have both. But I recommend this for an outside picnic or an outside al fresco dining.
Well, here's the benefit of the no mayo with a salad like this. If you are traveling and you can't keep it cold, this will not go bad.
That's what ice is for, Katie. But all right.
That's true, though.
It's so,
A little safer in the hot summer heat, too.
so delicious.
That's gorgeous, Jeffrey. I'm just busting your
The
chops.
arugula and the olive. It's like it's almost like a niçoise salad, but that arugula really just jazzes it all up.
I can smell the dill from here, which I love with the idea of the salty cheese.
So delicious. It's a braised pot roast made with pork
Oh.
with winter vegetable and stout.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you like a braising 101.
Okay.
Really important. This is how I braise almost everything. What you add to the braise is up to you. You can like have some fun, and we're gonna do that today. So first of all, the most important thing, we have a boneless pork shoulder.
Okay.
Okay, it's less expensive than, say, a loin roast. And what I've done is I've had the butcher tie it, and you can see it's almost a little dry looking. That's because I've salted it on all sides for 24 hours in the fridge, uncovered, sort of like what you would do a turkey, right? So we talk about that all the time. And then what I'm gonna do is start to sear. Okay, so what we have here in a Dutch oven is some pancetta, and I've rendered it with some sage, okay? And we're gonna get that nice and crispy, and that fat is gonna help sort of like a pork on pork magic go on here, okay? So I'm gonna take this fat, this rendered pancetta out and put it on a sheet pan. We're not gonna throw this away because we're gonna add it to the braise right after. Really
Throw it
important.
away. Who would do that?
Never. So Jeff, you have a
Okay.
little 101 on vegetables.
Okay, well, so you've chosen rutabagas
Yes.
and turnips, okay? They're great winter root vegetables to use and braise really well and
Yep.
give it a nice alternative to just a standard potato and carrot.
Yeah, braising 101, we're gonna use that because that's your sort of fun addition, and we're gonna use carrots and onions because I use that for every single braise. Now, as you can see, this is smoking. You want it to smoke, really important, and you wanna put this in fat side down, and you're gonna get a sear of your life. You can just see it's gonna work, right? Very important.
That's because you salted it, dehydrated
You hear
the
that?
exterior so you
Yes.
get a better crust on it.
Okay, now, I have one here that is going on, and it's, I wanna show you the color. Can you see that?
Wow.
That's really important. You really want to get color on side. Don't skimp. This is the thing that takes time, but don't mess it up because once you put it in the oven, you're gonna be done with the dish practically. You're just gonna get some garnish. Okay, so we're gonna pull this out now, and you have here, remember, all that sagey, porky, salty, incredible flavor down in here, and we're gonna add our vegetables. Jeff.
I cut this nice and thick and big,
Great
right?
job.
Because they are gonna break down in that braise. You don't want them to disappear
Nope.
completely.
Carrots, onions, garlic, our rutabaga and turnips. Sorry about that. Our rutabaga and turnips. Okay, and then we're just gonna saute it a bit. And you're not gonna actually cook these. You're just getting them wet and softened with all that fat. So you want to start the process.
Soak it up.
Oh, this is going great. Now you're getting a real sear on that.
Are you guys braisers? I mean, what do you braise? What meat?
man, all the
Yeah,
time.
I love a good braised pork loin.
Yeah.
I love a braised anything. Let's put it in there and braise it.
I'm gonna add some rosemary, some sage, one of my secret ingredients.
Miso.
Miso.
Oh,
Look at this guy.
Tomato paste. We're gonna give that a quick stir, and then we're gonna add our stout. This is just to get the paste out of the raw stage and get it started to cook. It's gonna cook for 3 hours, so you don't have to worry about it.
and the difference between braising and stewing, the braise is a bigger cut of meat.
Yes.
And the liquid doesn't completely cover it.
Yes,
Whereas the stew, it's smaller cuts of meat
Yeah.
and it's all covered.
Exactly. We're gonna add our stout, 2 bottles.
Double journey over here. Look at this guy.
How long did you practice?
30 years.
Look at that.
We're gonna add our chicken stock, and you can use beef stock, vegetable stock, but what's the point of using vegetable stock in this point, right?
I agree.
Just if you've got it in your pantry.
That's right.
And
You're
that's
gonna
the
put
only
this
choice.
back, and you're gonna nestle this. Doesn't that look great? And then the magic. Remember this pancetta with the sage
it's
that we
going
crisp
back
up?
in
That's
there.
going
We're
in
not
there.
worthy.
Yes,
We're
exactly.
not worthy.
Abracadabra.
We're gonna put this in a 300-degree oven for about 3 to 3.5 hours. Yeah, it's gonna take a long time. And go in there and put a fork in it. It should just like fall apart.
To me, this is
going in
Sunday
there?
perfection.
This is great.
You put this
Sonny, would you open that for
on
me?
and just relax, watch some TV. The house starts to
yes.
smell incredible. And then you bring it out to the table and everyone loses their mind.
Exactly.
Okay, so again, this is something that we had as a child, like all the time. We were always braising because what we were buying is very inexpensive cuts of meat because we didn't have the money to afford filet mignon.
You know?
Just want to take a look at this. Oh,
Oh.
you see that?
Perfection. Stop it!
Isn't that beautiful? Whoa! Now what I've
Stop
done is
it
I've
right
already
now.
removed the string as it was resting, so I just get in there, and now, this is really important. We're gonna put this up just a bit. We're gonna heat this just a second. And so what I'm gonna add to this, if there's any string, just make sure that it's removed. And as you can see, it's a sauce. It's made its own. It's kind of remarkable. The beer and the stock and the fat and the pancetta, everything from the vegetables makes the sauce.
I don't
So
know about
shiny.
y'all, but my mouth is watering.
It is. This is.
It's just like a natural reaction that happens.
It's very rich. I'm gonna add a touch of vinegar.
Yeah.
Sherry
You got
wine
it.
or Chardonnay, a sweeter vinegar.
Okay.
Just a touch. All right. So this is something I really like to sort of make. It's an inexpensive cut of meat, but it doesn't have to look like it's inexpensive.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sort of have some fun with this.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna like, cut this now. This is so moist. I cut it in slightly thicker pieces because if you cut it too
It'll
thin, it's
shred,
just
right?
gonna- Can you see that?
Oh, look at that steak.
Can you just see that gorgeousness happening?
It's so jiggly. I love
That's
jiggly
how you
meat.
know it's
I love
juicy.
jiggly meat.
I thought for sure you'd say, go ahead, baby Jeff. You left me hanging on that.
Sorry. I was too distracted by
I
the
get it.
giant
Okay.
piece of jiggly meat.
So I want to very carefully move this over here because it is going to fall apart if you're not careful. There you go. Okay.
My goodness.
Let's take this sauce, and then we're just going to ladle some of the sauce, and mostly the vegetables. And remember, there's a lot of sauce, but there's the vegetable. You spent all that time on the vegetables. You really want to put them on top and show them off. I love vegetables, and I love to show them off.
This is the hardest job. You make fun of me for wanting to eat this food. Are you kidding me?
Some fried capers.
Look at this guy.
Okay.
Capers, yeah. A
Okay.
little bit of fried onions.
Yes, I'm into that.
Yes.
Texture, right?
Did you
do
fry
that
those
little bit.
yourself
I
or
love
those-
it.
Yes, these are all
Canister.
real fried. Some fried parsley, which I love. And
Fried parsley.
I was
My
afraid
pantry.
that was seaweed. I'm glad to hear it's parsley.
fresh mint.
What? Yes.
Fresh mint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love mint and meat. It's so delicious.
Yeah, and a little bit of cilantro to give it that real. When you bring it to the table, it should smell like something.
Look at this.
so
It's a
fantastic.
masterpiece.
Okay. Are we ready? I think it's done.
We are
Is there
ready,
anything-
GC. We've been ready.
Okay. There you go. Pork roast. All right. Jeff,
Yep,
you get the taste.
I'm ready.
I'm going to give you the end piece.
I-
Okay. This is
Herb just hit
really.
me in the face. Can you smell it?
Oh, I gotta get some of that Crispies. I mean, I'm gonna say something real quick.
Say
All
something.
right?
Say something.
This is the best braised dish I've ever had. So you
Wow.
have to make it.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
it's not only the best, but it's probably the easiest, right? And do not neglect the accoutrement on here with the fried capers. So you can get the crunch of the onion and those capers on there is such a nice surprise. But the meat itself and the root vegetables in there give it just this warm, it's like someone literally jumped into my soul, went down my body, and gave my tummy the biggest, loveliest cuddle hug it's had in a very long time.
Bucatini Carbonara. So what I have here is my pasta water is going, and I have bucatini. Bucatini is one of my favorite pastas. It really is thick spaghetti with a hole in it, almost like a fiber optic cable. You can actually see right
good
through
one.
there, right?
Yeah.
The next step up from here is Purgatory, which is, I know, a big favorite of yours.
My favorite.
So we have it down in salted water, and I'm going to use some of this water. I have guanciale or pancetta. This is pancetta. Guanciale is pork jowl. Didn't have it. This is more readily available. And a little olive oil, getting nice and crispy. It's almost ready. And some cracked pepper. I added some pepper here. So we're starting the carbonara. It's not over. We're gonna add some more pepper later. A little bit of garlic to this. We're not gonna fry the garlic. Fried garlic smells good, but when it gets brown, it doesn't taste good. And it ruins the dish. So we're just gonna fry this here a little bit, turn it down to real, real low, and almost just off the heat, just let it sit and hang out, okay? We don't wanna cook that too much. And to that, I'm gonna add a touch of pasta water. See, it sounds weird, but this is how you start. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna cement the cooking process of the pork. It's already cooked, it's done, I don't want it to cook anymore, but now I've gotten some starch from the bucatini in here. So that's really all there is to do, and if it goes down, you just put a little bit more in. Now all we have to do is wait for our pasta to cook and wait for our cheese mixture to come together. Okay, so we have 1 egg.
1 yolk and 2 whole eggs.
I'm sorry, 1 yolk and 2 whole eggs, okay? Just like that.
All right.
Into a bowl.
And you can use bacon if you can't find pancetta or
absolutely.
guanciale, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
It's like thick
Bacon
cut,
just-
not maple bacon, you know, something pretty.
Pancetta
salty.
is the belly, but it's not as smoky as bacon. Bacon is
No.
smoky, adds another flavor. Smoke is good, but sometimes it overpowers the cheese. So we're just gonna whip this up. Some cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano or Pecorino Romano or both. I use both, okay?
Why?
For this, I just like the tang of the pecorino and the sort of age of the.
So is this your spin on a classic?
This
Because
is just mine.
you led this all up into this is like the correct version.
I've made it so many times that I found that when I was thinking of like, what's a way to teach this to someone who wants to make it and have a successful night, this is the way, because it's really easy. Okay, to this, I'm gonna add just a touch of the pasta water. What I'm doing is just almost, when you're doing pastry, you're tempering the eggs with the hot water. It's like an insurance policy to make sure that the eggs don't scramble.
It's really smart. Your pasta's really hot, and the eggs are cold or even room temperature. You're trying to bring that egg mix a closer temperature to the pasta.
Or you won't be successful. Most pastas I would put in here at 80% with the sauce and cook them in here. Not this one. This has to be almost done because we're not gonna cook this cheese mixture. This is gonna be happening off fire, okay? So I have this on just really low. I think my pasta is actually perfect. I'm gonna put the pasta right into here. If there's any residual water, it's fine. So what I'm trying to do is just get all that juice out of there in here. So we're gonna take this off the fire. The pasta's cooked. Now we're gonna add some generous grinds of pepper. And I say generous, I mean generous, okay?
Well, it means the carbon from the coal
Yes.
miners, you know, in Italy that would come home and need a quick, you know, obviously affordable, hearty dinner, and the bits of coal would come off and drop into the pasta, and that's how it got its name.
Wow.
You know that guy?
That is just an amazing soliloquy.
It's a true story.
Okay, so
Right,
we're gonna,
Alex? Concur?
we're gonna put this in here, and it's off the fire, okay? So it's not gonna heat, and I'm just tossing it like this, and everything is just coming together in a beautiful way. Remember, we're not cooking this, the egg's cooking itself, and the little bit of insurance polish we took out with the hot water and the pasta water is really working magic. Now, if this gets too thick, you just add a touch of
Pasta water.
It's like such a fantastic.
That's amazing.
It's just a touch.
And I love the pecorino and the parm combo.
Now, I haven't added a lot of salt to this because that pancetta, it's salty. Okay,
Just want to look.
Pecorino Romano. Carbonara. Classic, simple, inexpensive, and tasty. Touch of extra virgin olive oil on top. Not needed, but really. So that's about as close as you get to the real one with a little addition of the garlic. The garlic is actually not
I was going to
necessary.
ask. That's
Okay.
not very traditional, but
Shall we?
look at how luxurious and creamy that is without any cream.
The bucatini is a real structure to it. All right, what you taste is pepper, pork, excellence. All it really needed was the correct pasta, the correct cooking in the pasta, and the pasta water. An homage to my mom, I'm making a shepherd's pie. All right? Okay, so Sunny's already starting. Again, very simple, humble ingredients. Potato, some milk, some sour cream, butter, and eggs. She is ricing potatoes. The secret to this is they must be warm. Cooking them completely in salted water from cold.
That's right.
And you must cook them. There's nothing worse than an undercooked potato.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Unless you're gonna fry them again, you gotta really do it this way. And this is a ricer. This is a fantastic machine. What this does is it lets the potato get to a state where you can mash it without getting gummy.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest problem. No, okay? So to that, she's gonna add warm milk, sour cream, warm butter. This is not clarified butter, just regular melted butter, a good amount of salt and pepper, and 2 egg yolks. And these are gonna be added at the end so they don't cook. And we're just gonna get them all in, whipped together.
All right.
Okay, and these are just 2
got it,
egg yolks.
chef.
You got it?
Got it.
Okay, so right here I have some onions in a casserole with rosemary. You can add garlic if you want. I just like the onions. And I'm gonna get them almost to the point where they're like kind of crusty. Okay, and then I'm gonna add ground lamb. We eat a lot of lamb in my household growing up. Back then it was really inexpensive.
It was.
So this is just ground lamb. You can use beef, you can use turkey, you can use whatever you want. Like I said, it's a casserole. What does that mean? It's a leftover.
That's right.
So go for it. And we have potatoes that will make anybody happy. I used to make this a lot of times in restaurants when I started to work in restaurants, and it was called Hachis Parmentier.
What?
Yeah. And this was staff meal, okay?
Yeah.
And this was
Said
staff
that
meal means, you know, all the chefs are cooking very fancy French food, and what do they want to eat at lunchtime? Not fancy French. They
Yeah,
want the
big, hearty,
opposite,
yeah.
right? Because you don't want what you're actually cooking all day. So this is very filling, and I just love it because it's just so satisfying. So we're gonna get that, a little salt and pepper, let it go, caramelize, and this is what it looks like after about 4 or 5 minutes. It's all nice and brown here, okay? And to that, we're gonna add a little bit of flour, just to thicken it a touch, some tomato paste, and a little bit of sherry wine vinegar.
Was this like something when you knew your mom was making shepherd's pie, you were excited to sit down at the table? Or was this like something, a shepherd's pie again? I can't wait to elevate
she
it
would
when
make
I'm
a lot of
professional
these. She would
chef.
make a lot of casseroles, and it's not necessarily shepherd's pie. It's like anything in a casserole, this methodology. So it could be potato with cabbage. She would make it with meatless. I didn't even know it was meatless.
A casserole is so comforting.
Oh, it's so comforting.
Isn't it? It does take you right back to your childhood. Anything mashed potato.
Okay, how you doing over there, son?
Really good. I aggressively salted it. Did
Aggressively.
you want pepper in this at all?
Yes.
Okay.
And to this, we're gonna add some pearl onions. It's kind of fancy. You don't have to add pearl onions. I love onions.
You can get the frozen kind.
You can
That's
get the
so
frozen
easy.
kind. Some carrots and peas. You can add whatever you
Frozen?
have again.
So you
and
cooked those pearl onions before you put them in?
yes.
Got a little color
yes,
on them?
you don't have to, but I just did. Some parsley. A good amount of parsley. Really important.
You guys know the difference between shepherd's pie and cottage pie?
It's the
Oh.
What does shepherd's pie always have in it?
Lamb.
And what does cottage pie have in it?
Beef.
meat. Beef.
Yes, exactly.
So if you can take a look at this, you see we have, I mean, you know it's gonna be good, right? You have the little vinegar, the tomato, the flour's gone, basically. It's gonna do its job in about 2 seconds when I add some stock. You can add water, chicken stock, beef stock, vegetable stock, anything just like that. And then the magic. Sonny's gonna give us we're gonna put this right on top. I'm gonna bring this over here, Sonny, and we're gonna,
Yeah.
Oh, I
Wanna give
like
a
it.
taste
You
of
don't
that
even have
before
to get
we're
a
done?
No, I
casserole
trust
dish
you.
out.
Here.
You trust me?
I trust
Oh
you.
my God.
my
Hold
sous
on.
chef. You gotta
Let
trust
me do
your
one
sous
more
chef.
taste. You do.
Otherwise,
but-
you're gonna be in the kitchen all day long yourself.
Yeah, it's trusted perfectly.
Okay. Put the entirety of that on top. When I mean entirety, this will serve 10 people.
Great ratio.
Jeffrey, let me ask you,
Yes.
this is your childhood favorite. Is it becoming your children's childhood favorite?
Unfortunately, they don't get things so homey. They do get homey stuff, but I haven't actually made this for them yet. But now I'm going to.
Keep the tradition going.
This is just beautiful. Sonny's just, look at Sonny.
Well, I mean, it's meat and potatoes.
It is
GZ.
meat and potatoes.
I'm in my happy place. You
All
know
right, you
what I'm
ready to
saying?
get really happy?
Are you gonna do your thing?
I'm gonna do my thing.
Oh,
I think I see what's coming.
Melted butter.
Oh,
Oh,
that is just-
yeah.
I know.
I got you hills and valleys. Should I have leveled it off better?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Wow.
Hills and valleys and Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
Or any other cheese you have grated in the box. Doesn't really matter.
American?
Not American. Okay? Could you open the oven for me?
Yeah, I got you.
No, that'd be good, though.
375.
I'm starting to think about
Bottom
it.
oven,
On
please.
mashed potatoes?
375
Hello.
for at least 40 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, you can get all nice and brown and
take that one
crusty
home.
over there.
Here we go.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that. Can you
Oh,
see that?
stop it.
Oh,
wow.
stop.
Wow. Right here. We sat in the right place.
Oh, okay, you have hills and valleys in that too.
Yeah, well, you know, it's just painted kind of. Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
Gorgeous.
Look at that guy right there. That's
Yes.
like McKinley. That's K2.
Oh my gosh, look at that. That is gorgeous.
So that's what it should look like. A little parsley
Gorgeous.
for you.
Oh,
And carrots always
for
reminds
moi?
me of childhood.
Oh, man, I'm making this.
This is very simple.
Yes.
And the great thing is the potato is fortified with those eggs. So extra little, you know, something, something.
Woo, woo. Gigi, only you could make a humble shepherd's pie.
Oh,
Tastes like $1 million.
Oh, $1 million.
humble pie.
This is
Thank you.
delicious. And the lamb really does make all the difference
It's good. the lamb.
because it's so rich. And then you add those creamy mashed potatoes to it. You get a little sweetness from the peas and carrots.
I'm gonna make a classic French omelet with a little cheese, very little, because we want to rack up the budget, and a salad, a side salad.
Okay. Okay, that sounds
And I think
expensive,
this is
cheesy.
I think this is great for brunch, for lunch, and for like late night with a glass of champagne. Simple vinaigrette, Sonny. You're gonna make salt, pepper, shallots, vinegar, and chives. Whisk and leave.
Okay.
Set.
All right.
Secondly, we have eggs. So how many am I serving? 6? 4?
4 is
Four to
family
six.
of 4.
Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 eggs. These aren't that expensive. One of the things that's wonderful about eggs is they've actually gone down in price in the last 30 years. It's kind of remarkable, and you have a huge ability to choose the kind of egg you want.
There's actually a chasm of price, right?
Yeah.
You can see a dozen of eggs for $1.39
Amazing.
and another dozen of eggs, same size,
Amazing.
for like $4. So pay attention when you're buying your eggs.
Okay,
that's
so
for
I'm
sure.
just gonna, here's my whisk, I use yours. You're just gonna whisk these. Thing about eggs, you'd like them room temperature when you're making an omelet. You can add a little bit of salt, not too much, and some pepper.
I love that you salt the eggs from the get-go.
Yes, you
People
have to.
talk so much
You
about
have
this.
to.
You got to get that salt in there early. It doesn't do anything to affect the
Now,
texture.
there's a lot of ways to make a omelet, but a lot of people add stuff like cream, fresh water, nada.
No water?
Nada. Pan, butter, bubbling. You're gonna take the eggs, preferably room temperature, and put them on the pan, medium to low. This is not a egg scrambling demonstration of speed. It's just a slow process. To this, really important, you're gonna add some chopped cold butter.
A lot
And the
of
reason
butter,
why we do
GZ.
it, really it's not.
It's
just chopped.
expensive.
The reason why I do it is not to be fancy, is helps to keep the protein soft so it doesn't get hard. So we have a really soft omelet because
That's
it melts
why
generously.
when you get eggs out in a restaurant, they taste so much better than
Yes,
when you
because
make
it's
them.
a soft omelet. So as you see, I'm just using this on medium heat. I'm scraping it down with a plastic spatula in a good non-stick pan. You want to have a pan that's non-stick, preferably. And some of the pans, they don't last very long, so you just want to get one that lasts, or get a new one for this particular demonstration.
Now, GZ, we all give you a hard time for not being the most budget-friendly in your current life, but that's not exactly how you grew up. So I know that you know how to make a dollar stretch.
We grew up, and my mother made leftovers probably 4 times a week.
Yeah.
To the point where sometimes we didn't know what the original dish was, you know, where it came from. But it was just delicious and yummy. Like that pepper dish, like, brought me back. That was just yummy.
I love the way you're really making us see that an omelet begins kind of the way a scramble does. 'Cause
Yes.
you've got to cook the heart of the eggs before you build that.
Yeah, so I'm
crust.
just moderating the heat. You can see the heat is not too high. It's high enough to cook, but I'm really taking care of the omelet to make sure it doesn't get like all on the bottom and stick. So I'm just pushing it off, pushing it toward the center. And now I'm making, I could go either a scrambled egg or an omelet at this point, all right? Now, if I was gonna go scrambled egg, I would take a whisk. How you doing over there, Sonny?
I'm done.
Okay. I would take a whisk and start to whisk these into like small curds, but
I
I'm not
love
gonna
to
do that.
whisk with some scramble.
And if you're gonna do a whisk in a nonstick pan, make sure it's a plastic whisk.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, do you like
Can I
to...
taste that?
Do you ever
Yeah, what do you
eat-
think? I made it salty like you wanted.
It's
Do you
gotta be
ever
salty.
Do you ever eat like a loaded omelet, Geoffrey? You know, with like 10 toppings in it?
No.
He's not
No,
going to
just
the diner.
because, I mean,
getting
the egg is the
Western.
beauty of the omelet. You know, when you start putting stuff in an omelet, you lose the omelet.
I agree.
And you don't want to do that. So as you can see, now we're starting to get the foundation of the omelet. And again, it's scrambled eggs at this time, so let's not forget it. But you see how soft it is? That's because of the cold butter that we added into it.
The butter is really like the mediator for the texture. It almost stops the omelet from not becoming fabulous.
So at this point, you know, you want to tell, okay, do I want a soft omelet baveurs? Do I want a medium omelet, which is a little bit more cooked? I like it soft. So at this point, I'm going to shut the heat off. And then I'm gonna add the cheese. This is Gruyere cheese. You can
What?
use Gruyere cheese. It's not expensive cheese.
It's not.
That's
Anytime cheese is
expensive
sold
cheese.
in that little area where they're all blocks.
Look what I'm using. I'm using probably.
Go ahead, Geoffrey, make
an
it
ounce.
rain. I love it.
An ounce and a half.
Beautiful.
And just a touch of pepper.
Probably go
because
cheaper. Just put some
I
Swiss, you know, some Swiss.
love the taste of pepper. So I'm letting this sit just for a second, and I'm letting the residual heat from the pan sort of come up and like kiss it a bit more, just to finish the cooking.
And if you did want to save money, you could use whatever cheese you got in your drawer in your fridge.
Of course, of course. So while that's just sitting there, I'm going to take my beautiful salad dressing. Sunny, thank you so much. It was,
You're very
This is a
welcome.
really good dressing, and I tell people all the time it's a simple dressing. We love salad dressing. We always talk about it all the time.
Love
But I
it.
like a
It's all
salad
you
dressing.
need.
I want it to be so vinegary, too.
That's chive heavy and shallot heavy because it's onions, really, that makes it great. So you can see this, and you see how nice that is? Sort of
It's also
thick
so
and-
French.
French make the best salad dressing,
best.
in my opinion.
That's a very expensive conversation y'all are having over
Okay,
there.
so I'm just gonna give this a general, this is Bibb or Boston, but you see, I'm just using the lettuce. I'm not cutting it up and I'm not just damaging it. I want it to retain its shape, so when I put it on the plate, it's sort of decorative. Okay, I think we're
Honestly
ready to go.
mesmerized. This is like arranging flowers, this dish.
It is.
Yeah, so we're just gonna take that here. This is for the side, and I think when you bring the salad over to the table, it looks really beautiful.
I'm hungry.
You wanna eat it.
I want to
It's
eat
making me
that.
so hungry. Forget the omelet.
If you get the omelet, okay. I'm not
Look
giving
at
you the
it
omelet.
stacked up, all fancy.
Beautiful.
You don't know you're on a budget when you're presenting this
Well, I
fabulously.
mean, you're actually having like 4 or 5 leaves each, so it's not like, can you take that from me?
You also,
I'm gonna
Okay.
eat that whole bowl, let's be real.
So you don't have to flip it, you don't have to throw it in the air. It's not a pizza. You just have to take it like this, okay? And just roll it. So the heaviness of the omelet is gonna, it's gonna make
Momentum.
it, it's gonna make itself. You see that?
it's like a snowball rolling
See how
downhill.
nice it is? It's soft.
No brown.
No brown, never.
This is my everything.
Jamais.
Jamais, never.
No brown.
No brown. And then you're just gonna take it like this and
right.
flip it onto the platter.
Oh my God, so beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And one last, I'm gonna take a little what I call shining butter, which is just soft butter.
Oh, bien sûr.
top of that.
That's at least 25 cents right there.
It is, but so what?
It is
We're
worth it.
Oh,
That's
So
gorgeous.
there you are. That's a French
Wow.
omelet with a little salad.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Please slice it up.
Gorgeality.
I love the way the cheese is 79.9% melted, but there's still the texture of that.
See that?
Ooh.
Beautiful.
So, Katie, that's yours, and I'm gonna check the price. All right, you ready?
Yes.
What was yours? $15.39.
$15.39.
Okay, you ready?
Man.
No way with that cheese.
$14.93.
What?
GZ.
Comes in.
Shaving off the pennies.
How did that happen with that cheese and the chives and
One
everything
less
else?
egg. One less egg. You know?
This is worth every penny, you guys. The Gruyere cheese, it has such a wonderful nuttiness to it, and the melty, and the eggs are so perfectly cooked and creamy.
Oh my God.
And then that salad dressing, the chive and shallots, that's what it's all about.